surprise to me.
And with that being said, I would love to welcome our YouTube audience to the arena. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NODWIN Valorant Challenges South Asia, driven by Hyundai, and our styling partner is Philips One Blade. Today we have God's Reign taking on True Rippers, and in my personal opinion, they are some of the most entertaining teams to watch. True Rippers has some of the craziest pistol rounds and some really good set-piece executes, to the extent that they surprise everybody. They are very brave with them. On the other hand, God's Reign are very consistent at adapting to their opponents and laying down some vicious traps. Getting through them is like trying to navigate a minefield. Good luck getting there, getting to your destination without having a head blown. And both these teams now are looking for the top spot of their group.
Look at the walkouts. I mean, the win he got the previous game around, he gave a very great interview to great mindset, positive body language. He was able to shed some light on what True Rippers did in split 1 and what they'll try to improve here in the upcoming split. Sai, Vibor, Autumn, all these four players, out of all these four players, I'd say Sai today looks a lot animated until Disrupt came in and alright Hooks, you wanted to BM a little bit through Disrupt. Hopefully Disrupt does not take it to his hand and beat you up in the game.
I don't understand if he was trying to go for a walk like an Egyptian dance or he was animating the snake. That is an in-joke with some of these players. Well, I'm not sure about what he was referring to, but I'm pretty sure that he's gonna have some fun today now, isn't he?
Of course. I mean, True Rivers versus God's Reign, it's gonna be a treat to watch. I just hope for best Valorant action as we saw yesterday. I mean, strategies being made and a map being played with just the W and the left mouse click key. That was an insane game yesterday. I do hope we do see some moments like these. We have fun like that particular game, and overall give a treat to our viewers.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for over here, ladies and gentlemen. Both these teams looking for the top spot of their stage. Now, the last time these two teams faced each other, True Rippers were not able to get the win. The first time they faced each other, God's Reign won 2-0. At least in the previous game, True Rippers was able to defeat them on Pearl, and with that being said, they would probably like to replicate that. Also, we have now noticed that True Rippers is very, very comfortable in Lotus. Meanwhile, God's Reign looks shaky for the most part. Half the time, they don't even try to play Lotus. They try to ban it out if they have the opportunity to do so. And that brings us to today's map video. They have quite a lot of history with each other, but none on Bind, and there won't be either.
It is interesting to see God's Reign ban Bind though, and not
okay.
Banning Lotus, and that's more of a, I'd say, a respect ban coming in from True Rippers on that map of Pearl. But God's Reign, usually a perma man, this time has been picked by them. They want to play the map of Lotus.
Okay, the flip has the script has completely changed at this point. This is super interesting because the history has not repeated itself at all. True Rippers pick up Split, and while that is a heavily momentum-oriented map, I'm sure they can capture it. But the interesting part is that ban coming out from True Rippers from God's Reign on Bind. I thought they would be willing to experiment, and yeah, why not? Instead, they decided to experiment with Lotus.
Oh, did they choose the right game? Oh, let's see. The time is only going to tell us. True Rippers, what have you cooked up on the Lotus map? Yesterday, Lotus was a very great game. I do hope we see some different agent selects too this time around. Maybe a double controller, because that's really what I want on this map.
This is one of those maps where you can really go innovative now, can't you? I was expecting the pre-judge coming out of Oaks, but I want to see if they try out something with the other initiator. Maybe a Fade, maybe they pick up something like a Sky. Yeah, okay, the Sky was expected to, but the Raze and Kaizen, I'm quite shocked that Autumn doesn't go for something similar. He chooses the Jet instead.
And the difference in the controllers too. Ayu's gonna go with Omen and Tix has an Astra with him. So this is a little bit, I'd say, interesting for God's Reign, because the smokes on Astra I feel like are a little bit smaller, I think, as compared to those the Omen has. So there is a bit of gap outside C for the player trying to stand on C mount. So you can shoot over that smoke. That is a gap I'd like Team True Rivers maybe trying to exploit. But hey, let's see. I think early on we'll see those one-ways trying to deny some space. The defenders will try and play proactive on this map because that I think is literally a very simple way to try and snatch rounds away from the attacking side.
While that is true, we did see that the last time on Lotus, one of these teams tried to overcook and they were crunching very heavily. Just in yesterday's game itself, actually. Oh wait, we didn't have a Lotus yesterday. Just this week, when we saw that game, the defensive side teams were actually able to flank out the attackers and they were able to keep them centered towards the spawn itself, not letting them go anywhere. But if you overextend, it can be a big problem.
Let's see. All of the players are ready and let's jump into action. I am ready for this game between Team True Rippers and Team God's Reign, and let's see if the teams are. Oh, I love this. So, at least we do see some frenzies in the mix. I have seen this weapon being again used a lot in some other regions. I mean, North America is filled with frenzies in these pistol rounds, but here we just have 3. Takes in both from God's Reign and True Rippers. Kaizen is rocking the weapon. I think it is going to be a C execute to start things off for Team True Rippers. And God's Reign are positioned in a way to stop this properly. They do have their controller, and I think they'll be able to open the gate through this rotating door and try to pinch the players of Team True Rippers outside C. Let's see if that's the plan or not. Takes for now. He's playing off his star. Also has some killjoy utility to work with. Techno just knows that there is a player trying to peek out B main and is trying to pick him off. These all are just early duels that Team God's Reign is taking to gain any sort of information that they can.
But God's Reign have such a good read on this one. They're all stacked up outside of A. And the moment True Rippers try exploring elsewhere, God's Reign also make their adjustments. Sai has moved over towards the B side. He's juggling in between B and C. Just playing towards Waterfall, trying to send his flashes above just to see if there's anyone present. But time is running out. True Rippers don't have a lot of land. Keep in mind, this is also the first time that God's Reign are playing Lotus. So, for them to see it play so passively, I think they have a lot of things planned out if they are confident to let this much map control be available to True Rippers. But the moment I start saying that, God's Reign start taking map control towards C. And they might just be in time here because the A side is already under assault.
It is, but look at the double flank coming in too. So you'll have to keep that in the back of the mind too, because you do not have any flank protection. Because of it, they try to get proactive and try to take control CET. But Sai, just by his mere presence, has been able to contain the players of Team 2 Rippers. You have 2 players up top. They do not check them. And Techno and you will be able to get those frags. Now the flag becomes useless because you've already lost 7. Disrupt gets another frag. Wim comes in with a couple. And True Rippers easily are able to convert the pistol round in their favor.
Yeah, not what God's Reign had in mind when they went for that flank. We thought we got them cornered. That's what God's Reign would have been discussing. The True Rippers, on the other hand, are able to just shoot their way through. They don't stop right there after they finish the plant. They don't retreat after planting it. No, they aggress further. They keep God's Reign away from the side itself. I'm not sure if they were aware about the incoming flank, but it's not like they cared. They were prepared to fight regardless.
It was a great adjustment from Team True Rippers. Just adapting on the fly, figuring out that there was no resistance, so there had to be someone flanking them. And now, the early push from B main. I thought Sai should have also survived that if all the players just peek together. But at least Hoax is able to get the frag. And they may be able to get that weapon back, but I don't think so. No, he's too far away. He's too far away, and True Rippers, they're wary about it. They've already tried. They've already fallen back and making sure that the gun does not get retrieved by any of the God's Reign players.
Yeah, at least now you can have Ardu pick up the Phantom. So God's Reign at least don't get their hands on it. It would have been disastrous if you get that gun in the hands of Adam. Wimp, on the other hand, has gone for a very risky mission. Timing is perfect. He's expecting another player to peek out of the stairs region, which is a reasonable response. And he was cautious. I mean, Wimp knew that he wouldn't be able to make it too far into enemy territory without being spotted. And I'm sure at that moment, even he must have been thinking, I'm able to get this deep and no one's peeking me? This must be a trap. But he will reunite with his teammates who are now creeping into B. And I'm pretty sure the God's Reign is aware about it, but they still have no intention of keeping it under control.
Bro, though, spots are you down, so at least they have Waterfall with them under their control and True Rippers. They'll also be very happy to just stay inside or maybe just fall back to B main too, because that is where the plan has been thrown in for. Kaizen will play with Ayu in the A connector and should be around tagged for them. I mean, I do not see a way out in Godwin get back into the side and try to defuse the spike. They've already been spammed a little bit. A tap on the spike, but Kaizen is able to get one. The remaining players are trying to push on into A lane, but Kaizen just catches all of them off. Takes, yes, he's able to take off the head of Kaizen, but True Rippers, they trade and essentially get their second.
Yeah, and True Rippers are also able to keep the more expensive guns under control. The Phantom and the Vandal both available for them. They retrieve the Bulldog as well, so they only lost like a Ghost at max, maybe a Spectre. But True Rippers are able to keep it clean, and yeah, I'm glad that they're playing in this way. You usually do see Wimp trying to play along for the lurk role, but not in such a degree where he's the one aggressing into A by himself. And he did fall back in time, so that is quite important to know that True Rippers like going wild every now and then, but they have the discipline, and this looks like one of those wild rounds. There's battles right from the beginning. Autumn and Gaze in trading bodies. Ryu retrieves the frag, and all of a sudden the disengage. It was a quick fight and then a retrieval. Both the teams knowing when to disengage, just being super disciplined and measured in their fights.
Right there.
Oh. Let's see though, Ayu still has that eye on the rotation towards the B side. And as such, there's no backup. So this late play of Team God's Raid is going to be very, very important.
Almost.
Both of the players have been recorded down, and Vim gets
God.
pushed and is still able to get one with the Bulldog.
Shouldn't have happened.
That's a great re-clear. Although on the back of it, True Rippers, they just get into the B side. They were hoping that both the players would fall. And now they make a late pivot towards A. It's a push through CT, it's a push through spawn, and Sai is in a great position to receive this. He is holding any sort of a default plant. The paranoia gets invested too, and now Sai has to come up big.
30 seconds left.
Gets stabbed. No one checks outside but Sai. He misses all of his shots. Ayu manages to get the frag, but Bilbo sneaks in. He just sneaks in and is the ninja, gets a couple of frags.
Wibor does what Sai cannot. Catch both of them off guard at the same time. I can understand what Sai tried to go for over there. He knew that the planter will not be able to hit them back, so he decided to focus his attention on the Sky first because she happened to have a bird in her hand, but he was too greedy. He tried to hit them both and ended up getting no one. Wibor, on the other hand, does the exact same thing that Sai tried to do. And I can understand that none of the True Rippers members would have assumed that a second player would do the exact same thing. Peak one by one, but this time it works.
Somehow it did. I mean,
Yeah.
Wibor getting that second was a very, very crucial moment, I'd say. If
True
he
Rippers can't
goes-
get lucky twice.
I mean, if he falls right there, that's around and so it's a 1v2. And you don't have positional advantage or positional information of your opponents. That's around taken away from your hands. But right now, Team God's Reign, they were able to buy into this round with a couple of Bulldogs. That's what they'll play with. And on the other hand, True Rippers, for the most part, have rifles all along except for Techno. It is gonna be a C crunch here at the end. But Tix is ready with all the utility. Couple of stars position. The suck is perfect.
No way.
Oh, there was a TP in the mix, but Tix was able to just laser through 3 players and leave Team True Rippers wondering what just happened there.
A train wreck, that's what happens. He pulls them in, he knocks them down, bulldozes his way through. Audio basically signed his death warrant the moment he committed the shrouded step. Kaizen, on the other hand, thought a bit of speed would help him get across. Neither of them make it across that gap, at least not in one piece. Disrupt, on the other hand, that was just unlucky. He didn't even see Disrupt. He just got sucked into that vortex, doomed to die.
Great setup and great shot call. I mean, God's Rain.
30 seconds
Luckily,
left.
Tix was playing out C main. As soon as the double tackle came in from Kaizen, the suck was perfect. It was just beautiful. The gravity well did not let Kaizen get through. He gets one. The second one was literally TPing way in front of his eyes, so no way he misses the frag. And as you said, the third one just was unlucky. Did not
10
even see the
seconds
player,
left.
just got caught in the spam. And the remaining 2 players, they do make a wise decision here. Techno and Wim just saving the weapons, making sure they at least have a little bit of a chance in the follow-up round. But for the most part, for the most team of Team True Rippers, it'll be an eco round.
Unfortunately, yes. And TrueRippers even tried everything, you know. They've waited for the nanoswarms to run out. Kaizen started to satchel in just as those nanoswarms expired. They stopped even use this whole damn ultimate, but he just got destroyed. Rolling Thunder, more like Tix is an absolute wrecking ball, rolling to doom and crush you.
They want to fight? Let's fight.
Let's see, they're testing their luck again. I mean, at least they're going for that early C-mount controlling, it seems. Rodham will again have the free real estate out towards A main. A Rubble, an uncontested region for Team God's Reign. There was a good combination thrown in. Now a pain shield and the stun combo. It did not work out before. The player was easily able to escape without taking any significant damage over here. Webor ready with the molly, so he is ready to prevent any sort of a push coming into the C side. They also try and show some presence towards the B side. It's a late door open, but I think it just gets spotted down because anyway Sai is holding that angle. So there isn't a problem for Team God's Reign to make any rotations.
Yeah, but now look at the amount of information that's available to God's Reign. They have spotted TrueRippers all over the map. Even though they opened that door, TrueRippers don't go through it. They continue staying C and they rotate towards A. And Autumn, who's seen action over here already, doesn't know that the entire army is about to run at him. For the moment, they just think that they're just showing presence. But now that the time is running out, Autumn realizes that if they're showing presence over here, even now it has to be a commitment. And it almost was until that aftershock came in. God's Reign decide to stack up the A region, but that is a wrong call. TrueRippers changing their mind at the last moment. The B site now about to get breached.
They will be able to get in, but not before Oaks. Just spamming one of the players out. And that is how you, I think, stop or retake. Techno has been hurt. And Sai is trying to spam the player down, but Webor on the back of a stun is able to get 1, 2, and then 3. And is able to just clean up shop. Only Sai falls in the round. God's Reign, a rather clean round, and this will help them build their bank.
Every attacking team is at their most vulnerable when they are planting Spike. That's when the round inherently turns into a 5v4 because one of those guys is busy. And God's Reign decide to exploit that very moment. And the only reason they were so confident in doing so is because TrueRippers spent too much damn time trying to showcase presence all over the map. And yes, I admit that because TrueRippers were all over the map, God's Reign were also a bit confused. But they got that moment of clarity at the 30-second mark when they realized that TrueRippers are running all the way back to its B. That's when God's Reign knew you have them pinned, so you can go for those non-committal plays. You can try to disrupt them.
Let's see though, it's again a very quick pacey hit towards the C side. They do not have any sort of a backup option because both their flank watching utility has been placed in, and now Kaizen vulnerable, gets stuck by the molly a little bit, but Sai almost whiffed the spray onto Techno, but 1 for 1 is great. The spike will also go down and the lockdown has been invested too, but Webor expects that angle. What a play from Webor, but disrupt. He pushes and gets both the players. TrueRippers, I'd say a little bit of an over-ambition towards the CD side, but it nets them results. And now God's Reign, they find themselves in a 2v2 retake.
They knew what they wanted to do. TrueRippers knew they had to get halts, otherwise God's Reign will come in from behind and crunch them from both sides. You can't play Mound against them, and that's why TrueRippers wanted to go for that play. But will they be able to stop them regardless? I mean, this plant isn't ideal for a position like that, but TrueRippers invade the smokes and get it regardless. God's Reign have been going for flanks almost every time. I mean, they saw it in the pistol round itself that God's Reign will try to sandwich you sometimes. It's only when TrueRippers are showing presence all over the map, that's when God's Reign will just hold on and not push out. And because TrueRippers didn't do that much of a good job in trying to showcase presence or make noise towards the other sides, they knew that the flank from God's Reign will come in. Prevent getting crunched. They can't play from Mound, so they had to go for that Heaven over-aggression regardless.
Again, this is a very defaulty take of A Rubble that is being thrown in from Team God's Reign to just have information outside of A. And it hasn't been clear even once. Sai will get that information through the bird that there is someone out B. Bane spots the player 2, tries to force the battle, but is now caught in a very awkward space, but still manages to get one. And even add a second to that. Sai just on his lone sub without taking a lot of damage has left an impact in the round.
Kaizen threw that nade because he wanted to push Sai away from the angle. Ends up inviting the Grim Reaper instead. Speak about backfiring. This one is gonna blow up in Kaizen's face. God's Rain though have plenty of information. The jump spot results in a shot being fired by True Rippers. That sound baited out once again. But since this door has been kicked down, True Rippers can always juggle back to B. Luckily for God's Rain, they are ready to stop this one. Everything's in position. That stun is gonna come in as soon as Wimp makes his way inside. And because there's no smoke, you can even have the push coming in from Vibor very quickly. But the Rolling Thunder keeps them back, so even Vibor holds onto the push. He wants to reunite with his Breach, who's been stunned for a bit. And they respond with the lockdown. It doesn't cover too much. It leaves the B and A link region empty.
That is exactly where Wimp wants to play. This Cosmic Divide. Now it makes a lot more sense. They just combine two different ultimates, although Ayu in their backs will be a little bit difficult to deal with. Folks, taps the spike, waits out the peak, gets the shots, and God's Rain. A good executed retake. The lockdown comes in, followed by the Astra Wall. And True Rippers really did have very little chance. Only if Ayu was able to get more than one from that position, True Rippers still stood a chance in the round. God's Rain efficiently eliminate all the threats inside the site and are able to get their fourth.
Now you can see why God's Rain picked up this map. These ultimates. Okay, yeah, you've seen lockdown on B several times, but you don't see a lockdown planted so shallowly and then the Cosmic Divide being used like this. At least in this tournament, it hasn't been used at all. So this is a pre-planned retake execution on God's Rain. This time they've changed their killjoy shut up as well. An alarm bot towards the B side, but you still have Hoax playing that area. So the original plan from God's Rain was to probably crunch A lobby by breaking down that door as well. It hasn't been broken down yet, but Hoax's position kind of tells you that they were prepared to do so in case True Rippers played really fast towards A lobby.
I mean, there's always a star towards the side they have any sort of early information. That just indicates that if the player calls in for a utility, it will be ready. It will be ready on time, and True Rippers. A fast piece to work, it will take a lot of ultimates, I think, is what they need. Here they're just contacting up A. They have been able to get a lot of space, but the stun is ready, and Otto, just on the back of it, is able to throw a stun. And Ayu gets a good shot, but the trade is impeccable, and that's the spike against Team True Rippers.
Exactly, that's the problem with these contacts. You never know when the spike will get dropped in an awkward angle. Then you don't know when God's Rain are out to fight. That's the risk you run. The Disrupt gets into the site, but at what cost? He gets stunned up by the dog and instantly taken down. Hey, but the good thing is, True Rippers were at least able to get in towards the site with just their weapons. That tells you how much God's Rain are respecting them, you know? God's Rain are not often offering fights to them. Yep, every now and then Autumn will go towards Rubble and try to take early control. But because True Rippers is also playing slowly, that doesn't mean God's Rain instantly get on their nerves. No. They only start going aggressive after a whole minute has passed, and that too just to gather information.
That has been a tendency, yes. The late round clear from Team God's Rain has been a strat of theirs that they've been exploiting. Plus, having Autumn always outside A Rubble is a very positive thing, I'd say. Him playing the Jet, having those two smokes to escape with the Tailwind too, which although he uses early on to gain control, but he has been the menace for Team True Rippers. Every time they try to late execute, he's always there, always creates some problem that Team True Rippers run into and then fall to a different side. So that is something that True Rippers need to deal with. First of all, the A main aggression that the side of God's Rain is throwing. Maybe try contest A Rubble in the early stages of the round, show some presence out B, and finally finish onto the C side via the rotating doors. That's what I think True Rippers should try, but the main objective should be to shut down this early control that Autumn is taking every round.
And here we are ready once again, both the teams back with weapons. God's Rain though have won so many rounds in a row. Their economy looks much better. Off from Autumn towards C long, but look at that early fight from Kaizen. Once again a contact play from True Rippers, and this time it ends up working out. God's Reign completely caught off by that, and just to exact revenge, they want to activate Autumn into deeper angles. The door switched, and Autumn is able to get one. Now the application has been revealed. True Rippers weren't exposed to that danger early on, but the tide suddenly turned. And once again a disengagement. So many times these teams take that early fight, but then disengage. And that's been such a good thing to see.
Oh, let's see though, guys. And finally, Blast backs into the side, creates a lot of space, but does not find a frag. Or at least not yet, and not in the near future too. So there won't be a frag because of the showstopper, but it does facilitate the spike plant. And now God's Reign are left in this 4v4 retake, that too with an AWP on Autumn. He can try and pop that Blade Storm if necessary. Before that, the other three players needs to find a frag within the next 15 or 20 seconds. And True Rippers playing it very patiently. In terms of force plant util, they just have a flash on Techno. That's about it. And I think there is a Nano Swarm on the spike. Oh! Somehow Weibo was completely flashed and missed Techno in the process. And he goes on to get 2 more frags after him. Kaizen closes up the round. And True Rippers gain their 4th.
You mentioned how they have just that one flash, and my goodness, it's almost like you gave them a power up the moment you mentioned it. They used it so well. Techno, I really thought that he's done for after the first frag went down so hilariously, but then he turned around to get them both, and then the third, absolutely nutty. Autumn, a rare miss on the Blade Storm, right click on him. Could have stopped that killing spree a bit early. But Techno goes on a rampage. And because of that, he's just 1 point away from farming up that ultimate. Wanted to farm the Seekers quickly enough. This time, Trailblazers exchange. Both the doggies wave high to each other. But what's going to happen after this? Now that both the teams know all that they need to know, how do they react?
No showstopper for Kaizen to get into the side, and already side. I think with the spam, he just saw a pixel over there. He was able to take down the player, and even Echoes did. And Autumn, missing a shot, instantly escapes. But is repositioned on this angle, which gets crossed, which gets thrown in, and now Kaizen at the side takes, still gets a frag through waterfall. The flash from Sai, just try to bully the players inside and True Rippers. Yes, they do get into the side, but this time around it's a 5v3 retake.
Planted.
And God's Reign should have this round for themselves.
God's Reign, even though they're giving away map contact to True Rippers, they're at least not giving away numbers, and that's been a big thing that helps them going into these retakes, always with the advantage, and they start off with that too. That's what happens when you have numbers. You can just throw bodies at your opponents. The trades from God's Reign are overwhelming. Even though True Rippers are hitting their shots nicely, they can't hit that many targets. It's just too much.
Bear in mind, this is an attackers oriented map. And the lineup that both these teams are running will give you a lot of early control, a lot of attacking rounds while in the first half. So, True Rippers are not able to make the most out of it. And they are faltering out rounds to Team God's Reign. And God's Reign are happy getting those rounds. There is a timeout that has been called by the side of Team God's Reign. I don't know for what, because they were anyways winning the rounds. But this time around, they do need a breather, I think. Let's see what's the call here. Let's see what do they want to discuss. Godspeed. He's called the timeout. I think he is just making sure that they're able to get at least 8 rounds in the half, maybe. That's the best they can go for, an 8-4 score line. And I'd say even True Rippers would be happy with the timeout since they're able to talk to the coach. Yes, after they took a timeout, they were able to win a round, but that just lasted for one single round. And after that, God's Reign just answer right back. And something has to be said to the lads of True Rippers so that they are able to get the remaining 2 rounds in their favor.
What do we know about these teams so far? True Rippers like making contact plays. God's Reign love giving away sides when too much utility is being dumped at them, so they know when to cut over aggression. But they still have been flanking quite often. And that's partially because True Rippers are switching between 2 modes. Sometimes they show so much presence towards everywhere on the map, they literally run out of time trying to sell that fake. And every other time, they try to go for these fast contact hits, but they creep up into that area rather than overwhelming them with utility right off. This time, they do the exact opposite. This time, they showcase presence towards C right from the beginning. It's quite a fast execute from True Rippers. And God's Reign also are caught off by the pace. At least with the Nano Storm, Zabor is able to get one. Like I said, every time going into these retake situations, God's Reign have the numbers. Maybe Vim can turn that story around.
That's a good frag to find, but Vibor instantly gets a frag onto IU2. And the dog misses Vim's position, but it will be manually checked. Vibor with the third and then the fourth is able to make sure God's Reign do not falter to an eco round like that. It was a great attempt, I'd say, from True Rippers. They identified the weaker side. They were able to hit it fairly easily. But Kaizen just falling into the double Nano Swarm and Alarm Bot combination. I think even the Suck played a little bit of a role, made him vulnerable. Then the Alarm Bot made him vulnerable again, and the Nano Storms finally finished him off. But yeah, the late adjustment from True Rippers was also ambitious, I'd say. They also got a frag out waterfall. So it could have turned if the second player fell too, but no, Wavor comes in from behind, damage control, and God's Reign are able to get their 7.
They can't get an inch.
Well, that is true. It's what size Sky said over here. Man, Sky playing the Sky, that does kind of turn into a tongue twister every now and then. But this time, True Rippers are trying the exact same thing, going to CP pretty fast. I mean, they're all fighting towards this position. They're just kind of hoping that God's Reign walk into that free fire. They go in. Rolling not gonna hit anybody, but
once again,
You should run.
he just missed the satchel the second time, and look at his SP. 49 is all he has left. There will be some sort of a spam. Vibor gets one, but finally Kaizen plays it out. But takes through this cyber round. Gets a frag disrupt. Hit by the ultimate, but hasn't been fragged out. Now he needs to be in a very awkward position and is able to get the frag. The stun hits perfectly. What a stun from this disrupt. Takes down Oaks and puts Autumn in a 1v3 position.
that's trouble. But you're gonna go for it regardless. Yeah, the op would... Okay, I thought he would go for the op. Since he has so less HP, having that one-shot weapon would be a wonder. The timing is perfect. Disrupt peaks as soon as his teammate spots the contact. This has been a pattern from True Rippers now, hasn't it? Every time there is a lockdown placed, True Rippers try playing very aggressively towards halls. This happened in the previous round as well. It sometimes works, sometimes backfires, but True Rippers always do that whenever they plant that lockdown from wave, which is something you don't see from a lot of attacking teams.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But I'd say True Rippers are not able to, get the perfect number of rounds. They're down 7-5. So it is going to be a very difficult half number 2 for them if they do want to secure map number 1. Otherwise, God's Reign, they've got a positive start. They shouldn't have a lot of problem finishing it out.
Yep. Whether they have problems or not, we will see later on. I will be in the second half. See you soon.
For my wings, I need my hands. This life is real. Can't play pretend. Came off the bench. I get it in.
Bro, fridge meat के लिए, heat के लिए नहीं. Bro, this graphics card is making my frames drop. Come with me if you wanna get.
The all-new Omen 16 with advanced Tempest cooling technology, now with 5 heat pipes and 4 thermal outlets. The Omen 16 with 12th Gen Intel Core i7 processor to make you forget your frame drops.
Now that's cool.
Game on with Tempest cooling.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Yes, I'm a Gen Z. Or should I say, the Gen Next. And I don't let fear hold me back from doing anything. I choose to move fearlessly to it all.
Hey buddy, we need you to trim your beard for this next scene.
What? Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I move fearlessly in most things, but I draw the line here. What if I Nico cut myself?
Try this.
Phillips.
For my wings, I need my hands. This life is real. Can't play pretend. Came off the bench. I get it in.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Omen Valorant Challenges South Asia. You guys are watching God's Reign versus True Rippers. God's Reign has been crunching True Rippers quite well. They're able to get a marginal lead, but their executes have been amazing on defensive side so far, at least on the retakes. But now that they're on the attacking side and they have to execute to blunt instead, let's see how they do. They start off quite well. Nanoswarm's destroyed. There is a paranoia, but it doesn't really help them, although Disrupt is already flanking them, and this is quite a mowdown.
Hey, that paranoia is what won them the round. Even though Ayu was not able to get the kill, because all 5 players were just completely blind and nearsighted. No one heard the door being opened, and all the players just pushing through the double doors. What a great round.
It got
what a
all of
great
them?
round. Exactly.
I really thought maybe 1 or 2 might be left.
No one was left.
Okay, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I saw this guy planting the spike even though he's paranoid. I'm like, yeah, cool, he's chilling. He trusts his teammates, and sure, why wouldn't he? They can cover him while he's planting, right?
All of them were blind and just
yeah.
got shot in the back of their head. And True Rippers, once again, pistol supremacy is on top right now.
I mean, even if they could hear the rotation coming in, I'm pretty sure they would have been much busy defending the front lines, because God's Reign got crunched from everywhere.
Exactly.
True Rippers came in at once. They descended upon them like the gods from Mount Olympus when Kratos challenged them.
Once again, they were trying to contact up B main, but then there's a lot of utility, there's a lot of spam coming through, and already has brought down a couple of players a little bit low. I'd say Tix and Vibor are fairly healthy, but looking at side 26 HP, a classic bullet will take him down. So he is in a precarious situation over here. True Rippers anyways are poised to win this round until some of these players of Team God's Reign are able to hit some nutty shots. There is, I'd say, half an investment in the round, because they do have Sheriffs over here, and Vibor should have hit that. He should have been able to get that frag cleanly, but is not. Autumn tries to follow up, but the player inside again throws a great paranoia. All the players just stuck on the choke point, then the flash, and the cavalry arrives. God's Reign once again learning why these choke points are called choke points. And True Rippers, they just get the round for themselves.
Amazing timing from True Rippers. As soon as God's Reign tried to push them towards stairs, True Rippers, they do get baffled for a second. They're surprised by God's Reign over ambition, but they back off just in time. They know for a fact that if they can all triple up towards that rope area, they can easily mow them down. It was a shooting gallery from True Rippers the moment God's Reign tried to walk in through that choke.
That's a good round from Team True Rippers, making sure not dropping a lot of weapons of their own, eliminating everything. This time around, it's a slow pacey, I'd say, setup from Team God's Reign. They are waiting for any sort of proactivity from any part of the map. And True Rippers were eager to show some presence out A main, but after that, B main. But after that, all of them have gambled stack towards the C side, and God's Reign, they are just wiser to it. Some gut feeling, a call has been made, and they are on the perfect track to win the round.
It's the path of least resistance. The track of no enemies. And God's Reign are keeping it cautious, you know. They're still checking everything. Except this time, instead of going towards stairs, they go directly in. And through the door as well, to avoid getting knocked down in that choke point once again. Since True Rippers don't have too much resistance to offer, they will now try to go for this retake. God's Reign have been very good at these retakes so far. Let's see if True Rippers can do the same thing. There is one thing though, every time God's Reign were retaking by flanking from A long as well, they weren't so successful. Let's see if True Rippers can do that.
Guys, he gets a util frag, and even Vibor whiffs his shots. Sai is there to relieve the pressure a little bit, but this aftershock will put players in a very difficult spot. Are you? A great paranoia paired with a great flash from Disrupt, and even with weaker weapons, True Rippers, they just reign supreme, and God's Reign have been thrown in a pickle.
Yeah, and this pickle doesn't taste good. You can feel it in your eyes. It's that kind of a pickle, you know. These flashes really getting True Rippers in trouble. I'm sorry, God's Reign in trouble. My bad. But yeah, True Rippers have been amazing at that, right? The paranoia always hits the spot, and if that doesn't, the breaches flashes are perfect. A moment of vulnerability, that's all you need.
Vibhor had a great angle there, but that flash from Disrupt was just perfect to throw him off. Man, what a retake from
Here.
True Rippers. The early nade to first pick off takes the flank protector and then the collapse into side. Just beautiful. This time around, True Reapers, they show some proactivity out C mount. They have already gotten control. This means you cannot be aggressive on B2 because they'll just open the door and spam through it. But God's Rain instead are walking towards this A side where they might be able to catch a timing here. The flash from Techno will give them information that there is someone present in this location, but Vibhor, he wants to get ahead of it. He wants to push CT. And he will be rewarded with a frag or two because True Reapers cannot expect a player this deep into the side. And none of the players of God's Reign are making any sort of a sound. They just want to make this flank very brilliant, and it is. He not only cuts all the rotations off, but was a little bit too greedy, went for the weapon, gets taken care of, and all the real estate he won just goes down to 0.
Amazing. The fault line was perfect. He should have been able to kill Kaizen, but Disrupt protects his back. And now the aftershock to clear drop. Kaizen's gonna blast back in towards the backside. Doesn't see anyone. Realizes they must all be towards either long or towards that pre-region. Smoke's been put in place just to make sure that God's Reign can't peek in the back of it. Strike tap, but it's not being committed. The moment I say that, Kaizen will try to stick it, but God's Reign are keeping everybody alive. No, the moment I say that, they die. True Rippers try to just lock them out of the sight, not letting them even peek out.
It all fell down where Vibhor got picked off. That was not his place. I mean, I understand your need to put the turret there, but then you should have the timing in the back of your mind. Someone will for sure swing to try and trade that frag. You already got what, like 3 or 4 seconds after the frag to reset, throw the turret down, and then try to still control A heaven. But he turns at the worst possible time. He gets refragged, and all the real estate gets stolen away by the boom bot.
Got your trail.
And Autumn wanted to be quick. He chose the right place to be, but Disrupt, he was not stunned in the side. Gave perfect backup and got the raid. They again lose that first battle.
I mean, I was gonna say that God's Reign were doing something similar, you know, always starting these retake situations with an advantage, but now it just seems like the attacking teams, no matter who it is, are losing the first pick quite often. God's Reign get a taste of their own medicine. Now they're trying to assault B. There's an alarm bot in position. Hell, the alarm bot won't even be needed. The Trailblazer will give them the info they need. And once again, God's Reign will be put into a moment of disbelief. Indecision strikes. At least they're able to farm up the ultimate orbs. True Rippers give them that. And why wouldn't they? They've got the man advantage. True Rippers are not the ones who need to be.
The craziest thing is, look at the setup that Team True Rippers is running. They have an op on Kaizen who's just watching A. No one can pass without him detecting a player. And True Rippers Disrupt has our own thunder ready. So on the contact of, I'd say, the board, the ulti gets shredded. And that's at least one. That is also you buying a lot of time. Nice. The aftershock to clear the corner too. Folks, even then he's able to get one. But
no way!
There. And Disrupts the monster. After throwing the ulti, gets 5. And that's the best way to refresh an ability like that.
My goodness. Yeah, he's already got 5 points in the bag. He's so close to the Rolling Thunder already. He just used it. And that's the perfect use of one. I do kind of feel bad for the Killjoy over there. I mean, Wimp didn't need to go out at all. Hoax would have been dead regardless. The aftershock was supposed to put him in the grave eventually. But at least Hoax takes down Wimp before he dies. But at what cost? He's given this lovely smile to the coach of True Rippers, and he gets that Rolling Thunder back almost immediately. He's so close to it once again. God's Reign gets shocked to their core. Shaken off their feet quite literally.
That is definitely a time to call a timeout. They are losing rounds left and right. And I thought this was, I'd say, an attackers oriented map, but for the past few days I've seen the defensive sides doing a lot of work and getting a lot of rounds on the board. We saw 9 rounds.
Lotus is the kind of map you can't really set a meta on, at least not yet, and definitely not in South Asia.
I mean, see, I would not agree with that statement because I still do not see a default in all the 4 teams we saw yesterday. None of them had a default. and they were all just trying to gamble one side and throw the killjoy utility on the other to protect some flanks. Whereas in a default, you take control on all parts of the map and then try to execute into a site. But hey, let's see if it works for all these teams. I mean, I'm no one to call for.
Yeah,
Now,
I mean,
Kaizen,
in one of these in one of these rounds from God's Reign, at least one of these rounds from Rippers on the attacking side, we did see them trying to go for the default a bit too much to build up on your point, and they were just running out of time in that particular round. This time, though, with God's Reign making contact early, they trade frag for frag.
the ultimate has been put down too, and now comes the execute. Sai, he will clear out a lot of area on space, but they have to expect dugout, right? Ayu is ready with the paranoia. The aftershock gets sent into. The fault line is there as well. And the players of Gods inside, they have been pampered quite a bit, and the Rolling Thunder, I think, to relieve a little bit of a pressure. Sai still is not able to get any sort of a frag, but they get some time. They get little seconds on the clock, but Techno and Disrupt find 2 frags very quickly. Hooks just running away. Vibur, he has, I think, 1 more nano on the spike, or maybe even not that. So the aftershock will be thrown. It also has been the worst possible round for Team God's Reign. Whatever they tried just went down the dumpster. And True Rippers, they're able to get that round for themselves. That is the 11th one.
Great stuff from True Rippers. The Rolling Thunder gives God's Reign a little bit of space, allows them to get into safer positions, but the re-clears from True Rippers are amazing. The Trailblazers getting value every single time. Techno has been on like at least some 4 or 5 people so far. True Rippers playing amazingly in these retake situations. Regardless of whether they have a flank, regardless of whether they're trying to punch from just 2 sides or 3, it doesn't matter because True Rippers are just so good at re-clearing these areas. Stun pushes Techno away, and he has been quite good with the timings every now and then. Even last time when God's Reign were about to attack A and he was alone over here, he fell back just in the nick of time to make sure that he doesn't die, and True Rippers have a man advantage going into these retakes.
They're still holding out C-Mount, waiting for a push to be thrown in from the side of Team God's Reign. And I'm not sure why Ryu is playing such an angle. I think as soon as he sees contact, she just tucks in left and throws the Shrouded Step to escape. Wants to buy as much time as possible for his team. But God's Reign are a little bit indecisive. They take control A rubble, that's great. But now they're trying to pivot towards the B side. And I think today is going to be a B crunch with the smokes coming in. Sai and Autumn will cross through Link and then try to hit the B side. Kaizen, he is being pampered with some utility. And now comes the split. Autumn has already crossed in. He will break the door, and now the execute will be thrown in. True Rippers. I'd say that they are not in a position to deal with all the players right now. So they just fall back and try to play the retake because Kaizen has this big bang of an ultimate, but it just gets one. The trades are better for Team God's Reign. X inside is able to get one, and the rotation is now being cut off by Sai. God's Reign, for now, they hold on to their DO lives and are able to get that aid.
Unless you have a 2v4 from Disrupt and Ryu, God's Reign will be able to keep the momentum. Wants to peek side. Pre-fire comes through. Good shot by Disrupt, and there's no trade. I really thought Tix will be able to stop him. And he can't stop anybody. Ryu straight in. Tries to go for the tap.
He's taking it. Oh, the spam is good. At least the spam is good. I thought that I would just be biting my own tongue, and it still might happen. Disrupt! Just get the defuse. What? How do you allow that in a 1v2? True Rippers.
No.
My god.
I don't know if you should bite your tongue, but your tongue definitely is cursed, my friend. I'll tell you that. Or in case of True Rippers, it is blessed.
How? But how do you allow that to happen? I mean, I do agree that there could be a play made. The spike tap is there and the player pushes out of the smoke, so you do not want to spam it out. But you should know. It has already been halved. And the stick just comes in, and True Rippers are surprised themselves that how did they even win that round. But this time around, the setup is just too good. The Rolling Thunder to follow things up. The Aftershock, though, will keep the players of Team God's Reign for bay for now. and they do not lose a player even after being bombarded with such I'd say huge investment of utility. So the turn is there. God's Reign. The trades are also being thrown in. The two rippers.
Down A.
Hayu and Kaizen go untraded, and that just might be it. Vibhor is put in a 1v3 to try and clutch out the situation, but the double setup will be too long of a job for Vibhor. And God's Reign on their map pick have been defeated by True Rippers.
Well done. We knew True Rippers was good on Lotus. God's Reign, though, because they were the ones who picked this map and they've never played it before, I thought that, yeah, they might have something cooked up. And in the first half, it did look like the strats that they had planned were actually working out very well for them. But then the second half came around and True Rippers showed us exactly what they're made of. Retakes, perfect. The reads from them, even better. And even though True Rippers were in positions where they had to give up some map control every now and then, they did it tactically, always keeping the man advantage with themselves. We thought God's Reign were doing a good job with that in their own half, but then True Rippers did it even better. They perfected that thing.
True Rippers did not lose even a single round in defense. That's just crazy how all these teams are so well versed with their comps in defense that they are able to stack such a big number on this half.
Yep. And that is the power of True Rippers. They might just go undefeated if they can keep playing their CT side so perfectly. We'll see whether they can win or not in the next map, but that's after a short break.
Can't feel my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
I know my destiny. destiny.
welcome back, our lovely YouTube audience. You guys are just in time for map number 2. God's Reign, they did pick the previous game, but they lost it, and now going into Split. True Rippers are quite good on it, but that doesn't mean God's Reign are weak. They are also pretty nice, so I think this map should be a quite closely contested one. I do expect a wiper from both sides, but you know what? After watching Cortez play it, I was hoping for a harbor. That's exactly why I mentioned Cortez, but they gave us a Gecko instead, and I will take that any day.
Hey, plus no race for either of these teams. Kaizen on the Jet, and you have Autumn on the Jet too for God's Reign. I do not understand who makes comps like these. You're not playing a agent which is literally made for this map, and both of the teams have gone with their Jets. Oh my god, this is going to be an interesting one. No race on the map of Split. I am super stoked to see how this goes now.
I mean, they're like, we are done playing with Raze. We did it already in Lotus. I'm not going to go for it again. And he picks up a Gecko instead. This is the second time we are seeing Gecko in this tournament, ladies and gentlemen. The first time we saw it was from Aduka. Now, Aduka failed quite spectacularly on this one. They lost 13-3. I hope RU doesn't meet the same fate. Hey, but even though Aduka lost 13-3 on this game, his Gecko didn't work. They still won the series in the end, so it's fine.
Oh, yeah, then it shouldn't be a problem. But for True Rippers, I mean, what is the use case of Gecko is what I'd like to see over here. I would just pop it out, A main, make sure that they do have early A main control, A lobby control, and now has the wingman too. So the planning job is going to be of our little buddy over here.
I really want to see the wingman plant.
Around him, though, how does the team play? Because it does not have a lot of util, just except for the flash and the wingman. Molly, for sure, yeah, but it takes a lot of time to blast off. It will give you some good space, but how does it get utilized is what I'm interested to see. Sai, he gets a wall bang headshot onto Wimp, but is not able to clean up. Or okay, Wimp had a shield there. Never mind. It is 105 ding, but because of the shield it got reduced, and now the quick rotation through the ropes towards this B side. It is going to be difficult for the players of Team True Rippers because the anchor is already present and he has support from Tiggs. But let's see how it all comes down. True Rippers, they are into the site now.
Kill the wingman. Yep, he did it. But he's lost most of his teammates in the process, so even though they can stop the spike plant, he will die miserably. True Rippers overwhelm them. And I love how True Rippers are playing along with this Gecko setup. This is something that Aduka's team failed at. True Rippers, because they have this Gecko, they will always try to take A Heaven and B Heaven control, and then send the wingman down from height to plant it.
That seems
in that
like
way,
to be a, yep.
In that way, if God's Reign want to kill the wingman, they will have to either stop it from crossing, which is usually the responsibility of the screens guy or the elbow guy if it's on A, or it's going to be the responsibility of the backside player if it's on B. Or anyone who's playing CT, but that usually gets smoked. So, yeah, win conditions established for True Rippers.
So it is going to be an important battle for him to win, at least get one. He is being pushed in from
No way.
I asked one, he just delivered two. That should be, and that is through the weaker weapon too. I mean, with just a ghost. Oops, spotted down. I think it's just a classic to work with. It wouldn't be a problem. Vibor also being spotted. Now the flash was there. Even though still Vibor was able to get one because he had some backup through hooks. But there is no you in the round for Team God's Reign. Just two players left. All the remaining team players of Team True Rippers are just fully equipped with rifles. The spike's already down. And God's Reign hoping to get a retake here without any smokes, that too.
Funny part is both the Vipers managed to get a kill when they were not supposed to get any. Wimp got two, so that is indeed quite hilarious. Now God's Reign are gonna take it nice and slow on this retake. I don't even know if they will go for it. They'll probably just try to deny ultimate points to True Rippers and die to the spike instead.
That would be a good option too, because if you give two frags to IU, then he's just closer to his ultimate. And I really think that the fish is just too good, man. It has a lot of HP. It clears a lot of space, and being an initiator with just that ultimate, you're able to clear a whole site for your duelist to just barge in and take space. So that is a very important ultimate for IU. And I think True Rippers, they would love IU to have it as quickly as possible.
I agree. I mean, the fish detention seems so much more intimidating than the lockdown detention. But
Correct.
the lack of a killjoy on True Ripper still concerns me a bit. So they're playing really well now on the attacking side. I just hope they can keep it up in the second half too.
Let's see, though, their economy management is something I admire, because even in this round 3 you're not completely out. You have 3 rifles to work with. So that is something I really like about True Rippers and a few other teams who manage their economy in this way when they win the pistol round. And God's Reign, yes, they will be favored in this round a little bit, but let's see how do they use their util. Folks, jump peeking, the players of Team True Rippers down. Kaizen sets up his jet, but Tix is ready to receive. He gets a couple, and has not coupled just one frag onto Kaizen, but has been able to stop the push. Sai comes in with the support, a refrag onto him. But are you? He is able to get one for himself. Finally, Tix just triples down and stops this push from True Rippers. But I'll still say decent damage achieved in the bonus round.
True Rippers were trying to make that contact again, something that we saw from them in Lotus as well. This time, the contact trigger was that jump peek coming in from Hooks. As soon as they saw him take that jump peek, the birds, the jets, everyone was sent in. Sai used the flash, Autumn dashed inside into his cloud burst, and on paper, this guy should have been dead.
30 seconds
As
left.
soon as the jump peek came through. Oh, okay. Good one. But yeah, like I was saying, as soon as the jump peeks from Hooks came through, True Rippers should have been able to kill him, but Kaizen was ready to support him. He was ready to receive, as you said.
God's Reign. They are able to at least get there first. Now, True Rippers will come in with all the weaponry they can afford. And that will mean all the util and the full shields there, except for Kaizen, who will be the person entering into his side. At this time, it looks like a mid to B split. 2 players from sewers, 2 players from the arcade, and then they try to just jump in and take space out mid. Ayu's flash will give no information, but there was a counter flash thrown in. And now Kaizen, walking out, gets the space completely for free, because anyways God's Reign are happy to give away the mid for free because they do not have a Sage to work with. And they do not want to invest a lot of util right now because True Rippers haven't really exploited that part of the map. But now Kaizen tries to take out space. Wentz is where he wants to drop in. He needs a flash over there to peek. Otherwise, Autumn will be ready to take his head or maybe with the legs down. That's how you get a lot of frags in this area of Wentz. But no, both of the players showing discipline, showing patience. And finally, True Rippers, they gather around A main. And now this will commence as a split, I think, onto the A side.
Exactly. True Rippers are going to try to take control of A heaven. They use the wall to somehow just cut off the further back angles of A heaven. And they try to creep inside. And now poor Autumn has a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. He is responsible for too much. As soon as he tries to go back, there is no safe space. The enemies are already there. Snakebite cuts off the rotation from God's Reign, and now True Rippers can get control of the site. Debor was hoping to play a bit sneakily, hoping to deny the plant. Or maybe actually not. He knew he can't kill the wingman, so he might as well just kill a player sneakily while he's at it. Even that's not successful.
So Disrupt though is able to get another frag. So True Rippers, they should have this round locked now. Those are some good frags to find, and now God's Reign, even realizing the time is not in their favor. And yeah, I mean, they are able to get that third round for themselves on the board. Good executes, I'd say, from True Rippers. And that's how you play on split, is what they're telling the side of Team God's Reign right now.
True Rippers can do no wrong. Their plan to take control of A heaven is nearly perfect. And now that Aryu has his fish, you better get ready. He's definitely going to use it. And because True Rippers are taking map control piece by piece, they're in no hurry to go for those fast-paced executes. I'm pretty sure that Aryu will get covered really well when he's in his fish form, when he's using the thrash. Oaks, though, I feel so bad for him. You know that God's Reign called for his save. You know that he was trying to retreat, but how would he expect Disrupt over there? Kaizen was the one who was supposed to come in for the lurk, and he did so perfectly. It's just that he would have never expected a second lurk in form of Disrupt over there.
That's the early investment. The Thrash goes in, and did it detain or no? The dash cuts it off. So that's an interesting interaction over there. But Kaizen just bulldozes into the side and just uproots both the anchors. What great
Spike
speed
planted.
on the back of Thrash and God's Rain. That's an instant save call if I've seen one.
Exactly. And you could see that God's Reign was surprised because up until now, True Rippers were taking control of A Heaven. And as soon as the Thrash was activated, you know you're going to go back at least a little bit, right? You don't want to get detained. You don't know where the Thrash is coming from. So the natural instinct of the defenders is to keep playing passively. And they thought they would be safe in the site itself, because why wouldn't they be? They would have fully expected the Thrash to go upstairs, up that ramp. But instead, True Rippers jumped directly into the site. And that's one way to surprise their opponents. You condition them for 4 rounds, and in the 5th one, you surprise them. Sweep the rug off from under their floor, from under their feet.
There was an interesting stat before this round started. God's Rain could qualify if they win. Seems like True Rippers do have something else for us in mind. They want to win this particular game out. And bear in mind, God's Rain were the finalists of the previous split, and them having 2 losses this early on in the split. Oh my God, it'll be very difficult for them. I mean, qualifying shouldn't be a problem because they still have a match left, and if they're able to win it out, they should qualify.
And they have round differential.
I mean, it would be a very, very close thing to see. That too from God's Rain, for whom we were thinking that this is a sure shot qualified team.
I know, right? And now they actually look vulnerable. I don't think even God's Rain thought they would be in this position. But wait, we can't still count them out. Like I said, the lack of a killjoy might affect True Rippers in the second half. So a potential comeback is still on the menu. But they're going to use an all the util to clear out vents. Not bodies though, just util. They will send birds. They will send the wingman.
Once again, just using the wall to their favor. Just getting, I mean, aim in control literally for free without Team God's Rain even. And them not contesting mid, them not contesting A main, just leaves this A side or retakes is what I feel. I mean, yes, you might be able to get 2 players late into the side, but then they're completely isolated. They won't have a lot of backup being thrown in. True Rippers, they finally commit and they are heavily reliant on Autumns. They storm and it does not deliver. Kaizen gets one, but takes it, flows in through, gets traded out, and True Rippers, they should have this round in
One enemy remaining.
Oh, God's Rain are falling like flies.
That's right, you tell him.
You can see the intention. Tix tried to come in and save his teammates who were stranded on the A site. And while he is able to get a pick, the 2 anchors who were originally supposed to be there can't get anything done. Autumn was poised with the Blade Storm, ready to hold an off angle, ready to surprise them somehow, but even he can't keep up with the pace. True Rippers are running them out of the server. Maybe with an orbital strike, they can use something.
I mean, they haven't shown, I'd say, tendencies right now, True Rippers, in terms of positioning, so that orbital strike is going to be a little difficult to call out for. Because, see, earlier what used to happen, there used to be a player who used to plant the spike, and you could orbital strike him out and try to get that frag, maybe combined with a breach stun or something like that. But this time around, you know that there's a gecko in the mix, and using an ultimate just on the wingman wouldn't make a lot of sense.
Absolutely
so even that thing also gets thrown out of the window. So right now you just have to expect that yes, if in a retake we can try to clear an angle out with the orbital strike. If the players are still trying to push in and they get caught in a choke point, then the orbital strike can be used, but they have to be called very fast. And if there was a conventional lineup right in front of God's Rain, they might have been able to shot one frag. But not this time around. Now you'll have to be very proactive, very reactive, and very focused on the comms.
Money once again a problem for God's Rain. They're having deja vu of the Lotus second half over here. This time at least God's Rain are contesting mid actively, which is something that True Rippers have been exploiting quite a lot. As soon as they get that Benz control, the ace side crunches become so much easier for True Rippers. With God's Rain denying them this area, it would be nice. And look what weapons they have to deny it. A judge. Placed perfectly. That wingman cannot be recovered now, but I don't think True Rippers are going to rely on the wingman. Since they're going in from B main instead of going in from tower, they will have to commit their bodies to the execute. Kaizen's ready.
I still do not understand the position Vibhor is playing because he has a lot of chucking utility that needs time to be thrown. And once all the 4 players of True Rippers are on you, you won't have time to throw those mollies. The flash will confirm the presence, but the hit is already here. Vibhor is able to isolate one frag and Kaizen falls. And some spam to help him out, but nothing will connect. The molly is great and the flash push is also better. Techno gets another frag. The late lurk crewmate from Vim. Everything starts to fall in place once True Rippers execute properly. God's Reign, a bad, I won't say a bad attempt, but I'd say an unfortunate thing for Vibhor. He was even able to get the first blood, but is not able to close the round for his team.
Yeah, Vibhor's setup was perfect. He knew that the jet is going to dash inside, so he just places the smoke where the jet will be cut off from all the action. That way, at least Vibhor won't get traded out instantly when Kaizen pushes him to his face.
Once again, though, I mean, just Autumn tried to do some zero work over here. Hopes also gets tagged quite a bit, but wait a minute. There is a chance. Oh!
Alright
True
then.
Rippers, they just had the round in the back. They had to play crossfires. But somehow, God's Reign is able to break through all of that, and a judge for Autumn just helps him get the round.
I thought this was done and dusted. I thought True Rippers had
What
this in
is
the
this?
bag. Everything worked out perfectly. I mean, yeah, whenever you don't send the wingman through the heaven area, whenever True Rippers don't take that area, they do surprise God's Reign. And I must say, God's Reign were indeed surprised, even though Vibhor doesn't get traded instantly. This was supposed to be a round that True Rippers had in the bag. But God's Reign surprised them in return, and that's how the cookie crumbles.
I mean, that's just pure lousiness. You just had to be disciplined over there, had to play the spike. And then the players just start falling like flies. A lot of whiff shots too all around the corner. Not getting the jet first, not fragging out Autumn as soon as he peeked out CT. A lot of things went wrong in the round for True Rippers. Stuck with the last 5 seconds is what I think the retake started through. Once again, the True Rippers back to exploiting mid. And this time around, they do catch Kaizen. They get the stun too. But then it will fade off, and then there's the jet. So the dash is always available, and God's Reign, they just waste a very crucial ultimate there.
Yeah, both the sides using their pets for trigger. I mean, they knew that they will try to retrieve the wingman, and then even the Trailblazer was able to catch one. So the orbital strike on paper was great, even though it doesn't kill. Kaizen pushing in deep. And yeah, it is indeed a fake, but look at how much rotations he's managed to pull. They even used the Cosmic Divide along with it. But Autumn, at the right place at the right time, instantly denies the Viper Spit. Now, even though the fake does work, True Rippers are in a bit of danger because one of the major win conditions is offline. But the lurk from Kaizen is still active.
The timing though. The timing is everything right now. The Molly will buy a little bit of time. Ayu is just chucking every piece of utility he has to buy as much time as possible for Kaizen, but I think he'll be late to the party. Ayu gets one. The trade is still not there. So God's Reign falling in the region of elbow, and Ayu just manages to grab up all the flags and disrupt, then finally will close things off. I thought True Rippers might just lose this because the flank from Kaizen would be too late. But Ayu says, yeah, I mean, we don't even need you, Kaizen. I am all up for action.
That's perfect. And why wouldn't they fall for this kind of a fake, you know? I mean, there's 3 bodies committed. There's a Sky Flash, there's a Cosmic Divide, and the Jet himself dashes in. So God's Reign were correct to continue defending the B site. And just because the Viper died, just because Wimp was killed, I thought God's Reign had a chance. But that was just simply no factor. Oh my god, this time God's Reign wanted to go for the fights. Instant peek from everybody.
The spike is down mid too, so this is a good thing to happen, and Vibhor will put his ultimate down, but Techno finds the perfect timing. The Trailblazer to confirm the presence of the rest of the players too, and True Rippers. They just brawl like barbarians out mid and are able to show the weapon supremacy that they had.
Both the Vipers getting dirty now, round after round. Wimp was shot down while I was trying to take control of screen, and now the same happens to Vibhor. The frags early on even went in the favor of God's Reign. They had the advantage, and if they were just able to activate Vibhor's Viper Spit on time, that spike would have been borderline unrecoverable. But True Rippers also have plenty of flashes on the back of which they can fight. Plus the guns. Put those together and you've got a fighting round.
Let's see though once again. Early crash commitment, but this time there are players to deal with it, and Pix, he was ready for the smoke and dash. He gets a frag. The alarm bot should be broken down, but I think Wimp wants to get a frag before that happens. And he should be able to, because I don't think so someone will expect him in that position. Vibhor spotted too. He is trying to just make sure Disrupt does not cross, or if he does, he's vulnerable and has an easy fight. For God's Reign. How do they now convert this round? They've already got the first pick that they needed. They still have left mid completely empty. Yeah, I mean, that does not matter because True Rippers, they are a man down. And Kaizen was the one who was breaking all the crosshairs. And now they set up into the side. It's a 3-man setup. Disrupt is able to take one down. Put out him with a couple of frags. Techno went left all alone. Techno's position noted at the same time. So Vibhor is able to get that frag. And God's Reign should have this third in the bag.
Toxins going up.
Looks like it's time for True Rippers to go back to the good old reliable. Start taking heaven control from next round onwards.
30 seconds.
When they try to hit these sites from the main areas directly, sure, they found success once. The last time they used the Thrash, they were able to surprise God's Reign, but the same trick won't work twice. God's Reign won't fall for it. And Wimp doesn't mind losing his weapon, you know. The half is almost over. They've got plenty of money. So why shouldn't he fight? God's Reign, on the other hand, they start losing weapons now and they will have to pay for it. Quite literally.
They're just hand to mouth right now. They cannot afford to lose around here because they'll be forced very quick, even though they won this one out. They did lose 2 weapons, so they'll have to reinvest. And Tix, I think, even Sai is a little bit low on cash even after that victory. And no one can drop. No one is in a position to drop too. Yes, God's Reign though do have 2 very impactful ultimates to work with. They have the lockdown, so that A retake should be very easy on paper. But hey, True Rippers haven't been playing the same conventional game. All those A splits have been very good. The play through Vents and then the regroup towards A main and then a very well coordinated push. I mean, True Rippers do not really leave a lot of gaps in their attack. So using that lockdown is going to be a difficult thing for True Rippers. I'm sorry, God's Reign. And it is a timeout that has been called, but True Rippers, I think they definitely have exceeded the number of rounds that were expected of them in this particular half.
No. I expected more from them in attack. I expect less from them in defense, actually. That's true. I mean, the lack of a Sentinel will make it quite difficult. And not just any Sentinel. You do need a Killjoy. Killjoy currently has like 70 to 80% win rate in all the VCT circuits. One might almost say that she's meta now. Even with a Sage and Cypher, it's still dicey whether or not you'll be able to have a lot of control on defense. But the Killjoy is essential. She's almost a staple agent, regardless of whichever map she's on.
I'd say the same point for Raze too. But both these teams have decided not to play it on the map. So, I do agree the Killjoy is not there for the side of Team True Rippers to work in defense. But if Vim plays out mid, that problem just completely gets eliminated, because I've seen Vipers playing through mid make such impact that they are able to just control one part of the map all by themselves with some supporting utility from their teammates.
But Vibhor has been stuck mostly on sides.
For now, yes, that's the adjustment I'd like to see from God's Reign. On True Rippers, Wimp, if he's able to do that, is what I meant. If he's able to do something like that and then a 2-2 split for True Rippers, that would then help True Rippers to defend well too. I mean, obviously God's Reign will have a say in that. They'll try to maneuver themselves around it. But for now, I'd say True Rippers, they do have that upper hand. Vibhor is ready with a snake bite and the wall. But they still disrespected and Vibhor gets punished too. Techno with the counter spam is able to get the frag, and now the wingman is going to plant the spike. All the fights will be taken here, but they get won by Sai. A double frag through heaven. Even Tix delivers one. And it's all on to Techno to clutch this round out somehow.
True Rippers tried to blitzkirk this site. You saw how many players peeked out at once? Yeah, the overcommitment from Kaizen was a bit dicey. I don't think True Rippers would have expected a snake bite to land on their feet just as Kaizen dashed inside.
Last round before the
But
switch.
it stops them in their tracks, and I thought, yeah, maybe they get a kill onto Webor so they can somehow make it work. Webor wasn't supposed to go down there. He was only trying to reposition from the actual site to the wooden area just so he could surprise them again. So that's fine. And even though he died, I thought, yeah, True Rippers got this in the bag. And then Sai comes around. Jesus. He hasn't had too great of a game today. But in this round, where it's needed the most, he mows everybody.
This time around, the True Rippers, they have tried to switch it up a little bit. Still showing presence outside A main. But look at that. Most of their team has gathered up A lobby and they want to take this player down. And this time around, the shots are just perfect. It says they have to stop this aggression. And Autumn on the other part of the map is able to find a flag. So this should help God's Reign overall. So the entry has already been taken down and takes it separated from the rest of the team. He gets one but then falls on to Kaizen. And let's not overheat here, my boy. Let the spike go down and play post plant because Aryu's already just 10 HP. The defender lockdown has been popped too, and Kaizen missing all of his blades gets detained too. So this will help God's Reign to get back into the side, but the molly will prevent him for now from defusing.
Yeah, but there's still too much time available for God's Reign. They can take it nice and slowly. Luckily for True Rippers, Webor is dead, so they don't have the added cover of the toxin screen. But the spike, it's not planted perfectly. Oh no! True Rippers are still able to spam them away. Autumn with the AWP. He doesn't account for Aryu swinging on the other side. Oh no! That's an opportunity missed, but the concussion is still there, so the odds are running dangerously low for Autumn. So is his HP.
Oh, they were a little bit too fast on the retake. It felt like the flash was good, the frag was there too, but the smoke was needed. And if they swung after the smoke, the result could have been different for Team God's Reign. Were a little bit quick, and the round just vanishes away from there. And there was a 3v3 overall. I thought God's Reign should have had it in the bag because Ayu was just 10 SP left. But hey, True Rippers, they still survive and are able to get that 8th one for themselves.
Yep, but let's see if they can keep up this Gecko shenanigan in the second half. We all know that Gecko is favored mostly on attack and he's not that great on defense, so I want to see if True Rippers can wrap it around.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Bro, fridge meat के लिए, heat के लिए नहीं. Bro, this graphics card is making my frames drop. Come with me if you want to get.
The all-new Omen 16 with advanced Tempest cooling technology, now with 5 heat pipes and 4 thermal outlets. The Omen 16 with 12th Gen Intel Core i7 processor to make you forget your frame drops.
Now that's cool.
Game on with Tempest cooling.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Yes, I'm a Gen Z. Or should I say, the Gen Next. And I don't let fear hold me back from doing anything. I choose to move fearlessly to it all.
Hey buddy, we need you to trim your beard for this next scene.
What? Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I move fearlessly in most things, but I draw the line here. What if I Nico cut myself?
Try this.
Phillips.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Welcome back to Omen Valorant Challenges South Asia, driven by Hyundai, and our styling partner is Philips One Blade. True Rippers are having a gala time, especially with that wingman helping them out in the first half. But we all know that Gecko can be slightly questionable on defense. So let's see if True can wrap the series up 2-0, or will we go to map 3?
That was an interesting one-way too. I mean, it isolates half of the players outside B main. Oh, nice. Great homework, I'd say, from Disrupt over there. Sorry for the very first time, but True Rippers, they already have given up mid, so no contention there. They want to play it on site. And Kaizen has been tagged up quite a bit. Ayu has the frenzy available, and Vimp, I think, will be the person who will swing on contact of him. And True Rippers are well set, I mean, because the late rotation from Disrupt is there too. So they are ready to shut this B split down. It all comes down to them hitting the shots, and they do not. Autumn gets the first one for free, disengages, and God's Reign now just playing his time.
Yeah, True is simply unable to trade over there. Are you left on an island? That definitely means we won't see any wingman defusers, even though we saw a lot of plants. God's Reign heading towards the A side, and True Rippers respecting this. Just use the flashes to check if anyone's over there, but they won't be seeing anyone or anything. God's Reign have the site for free, and now True Rippers look a little questionable going into the retake. Lacking numbers already, lacking the one player who could have made their lives easier, especially when the spike is planted in the open like this.
And no Yodel too. I mean, yeah, maybe Techno has a bird in 5, but that's about it. Kaizen already lost his dash, already lost major chunk of his HP, just 36 remaining, so I think he would be the live owl drone right now for True Rippers, who will enter the side and hope for a trade over here. The smoke gets picked up, so at least A main will be smoked. That's the basic utility that they now have. A good pull, and God's Reign, they just get all the frags on all these entry points into the side. True Rippers find nothing, and God's Reign, they at least win the pistol round.
That's going to keep things competitive. Go for a flawless in the pistol, and that's a good way to start things off. True Rippers are not the kind of team to force, so I assume that God's Reign have the second round in the bag as well.
It should be an easy one. And God's Reign are trying to do a very similar strat to what True Rippers show us. Oh, never mind. They size just switches onto a Spectre and a full shield, or maybe even a Bulldog. But yeah, these Bulldogs won't be, I'd say, advantageous when they are compared against Rifle. So Rifle half shield would have made a lot more sense, because True Rippers were not even able to get the True Rippers were not even able to get any sort of frags for a force buy here, but they played safe. They have gone in with those Bulldogs, and it should be a God's Reign round until and unless some heroics comes in from any of these players of Team True Rippers.
And God's Reign can just move into these sites fearlessly. That's because True Rippers aren't contesting it at all. But hey, at least in the first half, when you mentioned that you would like to see Wimp play from mid, at least he's using his walls very effectively over there. True Rippers even tried to play aggro, hiding behind that brown box and taking control early on, but going into this retake, I don't have a lot of hopes. It's most likely going to be like running into a meat grinder. Not a pleasant experience, you know?
Let's dive to the spike maybe for the remaining player of True Rippers. Nah, they just want to fight and give their lives, and some mobs too with
Last player standing.
Rogues also gets a frag onto Disrupt, so it'll only be Techno. I mean, he might not be noted, but the round's already God's Reign. So yeah, that's the 6-1 on the board. The difference has been reduced to just 2, and if somehow they're able to win the bonus round, that is where things really start to get interesting, because True Rippers will then be put in a difficult spot. Although for now, True Rippers, they will have a complete set of util, and this is really a round where we might see some defensive structure or defensive posture being thrown in from True Rippers.
You could already get a hint of what it will be like, you know? Since True Rippers are comfortable fighting on mid, I think I have a cursed tongue. The moment I speak about it, Wimp changes his setup. The Viper Wall now is cut to stop A pushes. So I guess we won't be seeing too much mid fights from them after all in this round, but there is one smoke. You can still go around it. God's Reign keeping it slow though. Both the Vipers committing their walls on A. The one that God's Reign put up intends to allow them to sneak into its ramp. Meanwhile, True Rippers just want to keep them away from both spaces.
I mean, this is the setup I was talking about. Vim can hold this off entirely on his own for 40 seconds at least, just with some basic support. There is a trailblazer from God's Rain to clear out the smoke. But now the Viper Orb gets popped up. You cannot stay in it because it'll decay you to very little HP. And God's Rain have to respect it. They now will move towards the A side where they did find success in the previous round. But this time around, will it be the same thing? Kaizen, ready with his weapon, also has a support from Techno as well as Wimp.
Flash.
So it is a 3-man setup, and exactly the information is there too. The wall will decay the players too, and Kaizen already peeks ahead of it, gets 2. Sai although finally trades him out, but both the players are still alive in sight.
Yeah, that's wononderful.
Toxins going
Wimp is positioned just in
30
time.
seconds left.
The right place. He's gonna let them sneak by and then try to play on the timing. It's perfect.
A.
He even gets backed up by Disrupt.
One
It's
enemy
perfect.
remaining.
He's buying them space.
Oh, that's great.
What a way to
Indeed, the hero of this round. Yeah, just putting so much pressure on mid. First is the snake bites that hold them back, and if that's not enough, the poison cloud can be activated at will. And he suspects that God's Rain will hit towards the A side, so he asks Techno to put in a flash, and it blinds 2 people. Whatever Wimp's suspicions were, they get confirmed. And then he plays it down to perfection, letting them pass to just have 1 frag for free. He knows that since they have already crossed that little line over there, he can get shot from the other side, so instantly asks Disrupt to pop a smoke. Communication that Wimp is doing with his team, not just playing by himself, but even the commands he's offering to his teammates are getting him so much value.
This time around, though, a little spam connects onto Wimp, and he has been forced to just give away wait for now. He will get that reset. Oh, the Molly could have gotten inside if the Trailblazer was not destroyed. I mean, if not completely taken him down, a lot of chunk of his HP could have been taken off of him. Disrupt, though, just jump peeking around here, has the star available too, so it could be bloomed into a smoke if needed.
Here.
But True Rippers, for now, they control majority of the ground. Mid is not being looked by anyone, but just the smoke has given them so much space and so much area that True Rippers Disrupt even tries to disrespect his own smoke, sprays through it and gets Hoax down to 8 HP.
Plenty of time has passed, but 40 seconds should be comfortable enough for God's Rain to hit this B side, and they're poised perfectly. There's hits coming in. Rippers will adjust accordingly. The Sky will get there in time, but they've already lost numbers, and RU has way too much area to look at. Nice snap onto Autumn's head. Techno turns around as well. This is amazing,
timing.
but eventually God's Rain will overwhelm them with the numbers. Now, unless Wim can get a freebie and turn it into a 2v2, this is a bit difficult.
Hoax is low though. It could still very much be possible, and they exactly know where Hoax is. So is there a snake bite left? There is, but it does not get popped out. Weibor swings out and helps him down. Now Kaizen, 1v2, tries to stick it to her, but he does not expect both the players flanking. Both the players are behind his back. Weibor gets the frag, and God's Rain win their 7th.
Clean stuff from God's Rain, but this was kind of expected now, wasn't it? And True Rippers are losing RU a bit too early. I would love to see him reposition to a more passive angle. Hopefully have that wingman diffuse. I know it's a bit difficult and it's a bit too tall of a task for him. But since he's the first one playing contact, that wingman can never be used to diffuse. Maybe switch it out with someone else. Shouldn't be too hard. We can't afford to let Wimp play on the front lines too, so it will have to be either Disrupt or Techno.
Wow.
Oh, but why not? Why not Kaizen?
I mean, that's an entry to find. That's Sai out of the game. There's no Trailblazer now. You can heavily contest mid if you're True Rippers. There won't be any flashes. There won't be any scouting util being used. But instead, they are, I think, regrouping towards the A side. All 3 want to play inside, and that's the perfect call for the time now. All the players of God's Rain are heading towards this A side. The smoke gets popped too. It is a fake one, and there's a wall of their own for True Rippers. Oh, but I think Techno just got spotted down. Now he will be run down. He is not able to get anything, and Weibor turns to get a second. Hoax with a third. And the call was there, yes. But just the off timing, and God's Rain win the round on the back of it.
They're even gonna give over the plant to Hoax. I don't know why, he already had his ultimate, but that's still okay. At this point, God's Rain just want the win. They just want to get that score intact, get it leveled up. Kaizen started off this round really well and he will continue to do so. Now there is hope. He doesn't dash in, instead he goes behind it, almost the ace, but he's leveled the playing field for Disrupt. And he gets it! Get thriftied!
Nothing can be said right now, guys. I think I had expectations in 2 to 3 rounds, and things like these have just happened. Kaizen just happened in this round. A 4K from the lad. There was a double peek elbow, a double peek. One of the players did whiff there and just gets punished because of it. True rippers. Oh my god, Hooks and Vivo just get deleted off the server.
And then
already Tix was low. Only one knife was needed. And here again Autumn had the chance. He could have played time. He could have hit those shots. But the one way was just perfect. And true rippers, they sniff out around here.
Exactly. Such brilliant display of micro decisions by Kaizen. He could have dashed into the Nebula up top. He could have dashed into the Cloudburst. And then he throws off God's Reign completely by going into the open and challenging them head on.
Oh my god. What? Something just happened and True Rippers have just put God's Reign back into the back seat here. It was looking like that God's Reign have started to catch the momentum. God's Reign have started to get those rounds, but instantly just get thrifted and now you're back to Eco. Should be 11th until unless something like what Kaizen did can be done by Autumn this time around. Or maybe even takes because he has a Bulldog. But there is an operator for Kaizen. He will not have any of it. He is the solo anchor on the A side though. That could be something that troubles him a little bit. He's able to get one, but now gets dashed upon. The second is there on the cards too, and the smoke to just buy some more time. The shorty will connect.
No way!
He knocks the player in center of the side. Gets the fourth one too. Oh my god, this kid is not stopping right now.
What did I just see? I don't know if I should be impressed or if I should be puking, but that was absolutely nuts. Oh my god, that is insane. No matter what happens in this round, even if Tix is able to get a 1v3, nothing will be as entertaining as that. Holy hell, no way he should have been able to survive all of that, let alone get so many frags. At least the Molotov on the bomb will stop them from defusing, but are you... Please can hold it. The molly missed. Oh no.
Oh, he gets the frag though. And now, it'll be too late. The spike will be done. Yeah, I mean you'll get the frag picks, you'll get the 4K, that's great and all. But the round is not yours and True Rippers. They were almost counter thrifted. There was just a Bulldog in the mix and Tix made the most out of it. But hey, True Rippers, they survive on the back of a crazy 4K again. From Kaizen and 2 back-to-back rounds, it looked like it was Kaizen versus God's Reign and True Rippers were nowhere to be seen in the action.
Right here. Just about right here. We even slow it down. This could be top 10 moments before disaster. And you know what? I feel so bad for Autumn because he did his job. He was supposed to flank Kaizen. They knew that there was an op on this guy and God's Reign don't mind dying to the op. They knew that this is going to be a difficult task. As long as they can get the kill on him, they will be able to plant. That's all literally they wanted. That's all they wanted. The plant. That's it. And they do get it, but at what cost? Kaizen was easily supposed to get the first 2, but then as soon as they missed that shot onto Autumn, he should have been a dead man. Pulls out the knife because that's all he has, and I don't think Autumn would have seen that coming in a million years. You could feel the panic on Kaizen. You could tell that this guy has given up on life. He's just going to go down swinging, but who knew that he would be able to get away with the knife? That gave him a second dash. And on a bonus frag, as soon as the Cloudburst fades away, with the op, that is just cherry on top of the cake. Rubbing salt into their wounds. Kaizen looks to re-engage, this time on B, but he's not going to spot anything. Flashes on A, give True Rippers the info they need, but what do God's Reign do? They've been shell-shocked.
I mean, they do have a buy here. That's one thing going in their favor. So I will use a Trailblazer, and because they have the wipe, I mean they have the Thrash available and even the Seeker. Oh, not the Thrash, the Astro Wall available and the Seekers too. That could be one of the reasons they're playing retake on A, and they're delaying it for as long as possible. They know it is not a pain because of Kaizen's such aggressive position, And even now, the players of Team God's Reign are not into the side. They're still facing a little bit of a utility dump from the side of True Rippers. They respect it. They are into the side, but now this split will make things difficult for True Rippers to get back into the side. Techno here will play a huge role. The Seekers and the Trailblazer are very crucial for the retake. The Seekers get invested. The players are trying to follow it out. The flashes too. But the Mori will buy even more time. Techno, the timing of utility is not there. Kaizen jumps in, gets a frag. Has the blades, but not the second this time around. The players are coming out of the smokes one by one and the trades are happening and Vibor is able to shut down IO2. Sai never gets checked. The trade is not there. And somehow God's Reign, inside the pit, they still survive.
I really thought that was going to be another case and pop-off moment. The moment he got those blades online, I was like, this is done for. He's been phenomenal this entire game. But then God's Reign were just destined to win this round the moment they got the Viper Spirit activated. They took quite a big risk to even get Vibor into that deep position. And they reaped the fruits of their labor. Rewarded appropriately, True Rippers will lose the round and the money.
This time no ultimates for Kaizen 2 to work around. So it'll just have to be Sheriff and some Butyl that they have. Sai will spot another player out B main. And there is aggression from the A side. They should ring alarm bells. They try to take down mid team God's Reign. Vibor standing, gets one, gets two, but finally Kaizen trades it out and that's the rifle for Kaizen.
Yeah,
if we've seen something, if we've learned something, this guy can still do it.
Yeah, but then Vibor, he's always able to get those frags from that position now, isn't he? Not just Vibor, even Vimp was able to get a double when he was put in the same position towards the attacking spawn and his enemies were rushing him down A main. But yeah, Kaizen with that weapon can be devastating. Would be even better if Aryu had it since he's the healthier player, but he's in no position to recover it. And you know what? True Rippers don't want to challenge this round at all. They would much rather save that weapon.
Maybe Aryu dies to the spike later on in the round.
Yeah,
So
why not? Why not?
That should be a good thing, not giving an ultimate up to one of your opponents. And I mean, Aryu did have the wingman, so he could have gone in and maybe try to sneak off an instant check. Does get one, but then Hoax trades it out, and Kaizen will see what happens. So it is round 1 for God's Reign. That is the 9th one on the board, but they still need 2 more to equalize. And their ult economy is not looking that great. I mean, Tix is still very far away. The pit also got used like what 2 rounds before. So their ultimates are not online. But True Rippers on the other hand, look at that. Thrash ready. Viper Split ready. Disrupt had his Cosmic Divide from the previous 2 rounds. So in terms of ultimate, I'll give it to True Rippers. They just have to get 2 rounds, and these ultimates should be enough for them to help them get these 2 rounds for themselves.
Yeah, Vim can easily lock down one of these areas. I think he just wants to use it. Yeah, he's picked up a shorty. You can tell, boys. You can tell he just wants to use the pit over here. Okay, maybe not right away. Snake bites first, but then he sees all this utility being committed. The Trailblazer and the Cloudburst put in, so he's like, yeah, why not? I'm just gonna encircle this entire area with green goo and fold the site in his arms. Kaizen doesn't mind the turret. He actually wants someone to peek. He's like, come, bro. Come at me.
There is a flash to help him out though from Aryu. But reveals nothing and finally the turret gets taken care of. But Kaizen, he wants to peek out of it. I think he has that inkling that there is someone near the smoke. And I'd like to see his second weapon. Is it a shorty? Because oh yes, of course it is. You cannot jump into the smokes too. And the thrash hits the player out B main. And that's a very big frag to find because True Rippers have opened up a place but unaware about the B heaven position. No, Aryu is the only one available here to stop this push. Techno can support him, but he'll need to get a frag. He gets double phased. And Autumn is able to take care of Aryu inside. Thrash gone, but the numbers advantage live with God's Reign. And it's a 4v3 retake with late love for Sai.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, Sai is going to be the insurance policy on this one. Techno let that frag go. He didn't commit to the fight. He thought he could be able to kill someone who's coming in later on. Would have been wise of him to assume there's still more players down mid.
Here.
I mean, he was correct about more players down mid. He just didn't expect Sai to come out and frag at them like that. But hey, as long as the op is alive, the hopes are still alive too. But God's Reign are getting dangerously close, and now that True Rippers have lost one major ultimate, their power reduces significantly.
It'll be a safe call. On my not, man. Kaizen has a 4750 weapon in his hands. So it's better to save it and maybe try and snowball the now next time around. And disrupt IU and Web. I doubt that they'll be able to buy in. And if they do, they'll have to sacrifice on some sort of util. There'll be half shields all around too. Yeah, I mean, Wimp has a half shield and a stinger to work with. IU might just go in for a similar buy. And both the ultimates got, I'd say, wasted in the previous round because they did not yield any sort of a positive result. But I was surprised to see that Disrupt was not aware that the mid position B Heaven was already breached. And he went into the astral form, not even contested B Heaven.
About there.
That was an interesting decision made by him, or him not being informed about it. But hey, it has God's Reign win the round. And Kaizen this time around just disrespects the Viper Orb and is pushing in forward. He might be rewarded. He has to stick around for a little bit, though it is a A-pop. And Kaizen not finding anything will feed false information. Already the rotations have started out. Kaizen needs to hit the shot if someone peeks out of here. But I don't think so without a Trailblazer. God's Reign will do this rookie mistake. Let's see, because Kaizen, he is a very deadly player with this operator, and we've seen why in the previous few rounds.
He doesn't have the dash, but he can at least use the Cloud Burst. That's why he's taking a much more passive angle. Yep, that's his cue to get out of dodge. And the Toxin 3 will cover their entry inside. But hold on, they're not actually entering. If True Rippers try to go for a flank towards Sewers right now, it would be the perfect play. There's only so much that Kaizen can do. He's been pushed back so many times, his vision cut off. He's got no choice but to respect the push from God's Reign.
That's a retake. That's a retake here from Team True Rippers. And Kaizen is trying to find anyone inside the smoke. He even throws a little shoddy shot there, hoping to find his lucky stars, but he gets nothing. And now how do you retake? There's a Spectre and a couple of Sheriffs in the mix. So I think those have to be the ones who initiate the fight. And hope for the remaining players of True Rippers to trade, but no, that's a big no. There's a Molly on their feet. God's Reign are winning every duel there. And this seems to be the 11th one for their team.
They lost the AWP as well, so one of the big win conditions is taken off. If Bishop can maybe yoink it away, it would be nice, but he's trying to go for the fights and he's getting almost everything.
Those are some good exits to find. But I don't think so God's Reign have any sort of a trouble in terms of economy there. They have enough money. And True Rippers, even though the round did not go in their favor, it was their eco. So they can still take the hit, but now is a very important round. True Rippers, if they lose here, they won't have money for the final round. And there was a chance if Disrupt was able to frag Autumn out first, because he is the one who destroyed the Wingman there. Otherwise, the full stick could have come in from the Wingman instead, and it could have been one hell of a ninja. But yeah, I mean, that did not happen, and God's Reign, they will be able to equalize the score for now. After a very long period of time, we did see a big number of rounds being strung upon by the players of Team God's Reign. Let's see if they're able to close the map out or not. That's the bigger objective here.
Yeah, now it's getting dangerously close. We all enjoyed the Wingman plants in the first half. We all had our moments of cuteness. But now, True Rippers have to wake up and face the music. It's either this or map number 3. And we know that it can go either way.
Where's the early control though? That's what I'm looking for from True Rippers. I mean, you had Kaizen with the operator, so you essentially posted on a site and deserted him all alone. But now when he has a rifle, do we see the exact same setup that they were running previously? I think they do. They leave out Kaizen all alone B main. He will have some supporting utility, but he does not have to peek that early with any of his teammates' util. So yeah, he'll respect it. He still will make sure that he has information out B main, plays an off angle too. There is a smoke to help him out. So if he contacts anyone, if he's able to survive that duel, or I'd say a little bit of a spray down, the smoke will help him to make sure that God's Reign are not able to push through it. And Sai will use a Trailblazer to maybe draw some rotations off. And Kaizen throws a smoke instantly, tries to get away without making any sound, and God's Reign are none the wiser where this one guy went. Where did he reposition?
Stay down.
Wouldn't have expected an attack side operator. And he dies instantly. That's the opening. True Ripper's already advancing towards B, looking to reinforce the site before it's too late, but they're still paranoid about God's Reign being present towards A. That's why they're using Sky Splashes over there. God's Reign instead used the Seekers. But they don't pack the punch on the back of it. They're actually retreating towards mid. And they find a pick over there regardless, so it's all fine. 30 seconds left. If somehow a good play can be made by Vimp over here, he can disrupt this entire round. All he has to do is delay the spike plant.
He knows that the push is here and he is playing inside the smoke. The spike should come down here. And yeah, Vim just respects it. I think True Rippers know that this round is lost.
Planted.
This round is gone and it's better to cut your losses. Kaizen will be able to afford something in the final round because of the money situation that he is in. But what about him? He's 150. He just got 150. I think Disrupt would be able to drop maybe a Spectre. And that would be about it. So True Rippers, they lost very important, very crucial rounds. And now face against a match point for Team God's Reign. And look at this. Tix already has his orbital strike ready. Vibor will get the Viper's Pit online as soon as he's able to get the plant. And Autumn already has a Blade Storm. So God's Reign are positioned in a way that they should be able to close this game 13-11.
Okay then, at least he didn't lose his gun. That would have been disastrous for True Rippers. They're able to save 3 weapons, and you correctly pointed out they wouldn't have too much money in this round. So the rifles will have to just be saved, and whatever else that money can buy will be made up for with Spectres in the hands of RU. But True Rippers, they are lacking major ultimates. I don't think that the Cosmic Divide can do much to keep God's Reign away, but if God's Reign can get the plant down, it's nearly a guaranteed round. There's a Viper's Pit and an Orbital Strike. True Rippers have to stop them in their tracks. If it goes into post-plant, it's done for.
There is going to be a Nebula, a fake Nebula, and True Rippers will try to walk through it, I think. And the 3 players are ready to do something like that. Autumn spots one and is able to go untraded. The play was tried over there, but it does not make any impacts. And True Rippers, they find a frag, a very important frag, but to Kaizen. Will he be expected such up close and personal? Do they check this angle is the question. He does run out of the dash, but he has heard the rotation through sewer, so he has a lot of information.
Yeah, but no, this is a one and done.
Such. Exactly, no support as such, and unless he just cracks himself mechanically, he might even not get the one because of the trailing laser.
Dead.
The smokes are there, and yeah, the spam's well enough. It's good enough. God's Reign hooks, breaks through. Techno though finds the frag. That's something to work with, and now has the Seekers too. Pops it out instantly. It is the APs for sure now for Team God's Reign. And somehow Wimp is able to sneak in. The flashes go too. They catch players, try to get into the sides. Pokes though with the spam. Good for one, switches to the shorty and is able to finish the job on the Techno. Are you pushing in? Brings it down to a 1v1. This is for overtime. The flash, good. Catches Autumn in the process. And Autumn is not looking in the right direction. And Ari is able to clutch it out. What a round for True Rippers. 5v3, they pull it back and it's overtime, guys.
We knew this was gonna happen. You knew for a fact that True Rippers have to make that play. They have to disrespect the smokes and stop the spike from being planted. If it gets planted, it's over. Finished. And that's what happens. Techno stays towards that area just in the nick of time. The smokes arrive, but it doesn't keep Tick safe. And look at them. They re-dive out of screens. They use the flashes. They get inside. And the Gecko just goes in for a pre-fire. He knew that the shorty is available and there's only one shot in it. But there's a very certain angle the shorties have to hold to actually get that one. So he just goes for the pre-fire and now we are in overtime. And luckily, True Rippers are starting off an attack, which means RU can once again go for that wingman plant. It's been his win condition so far. Every time True Rippers try to take A Heaven and B Heaven control, they're nearly impossible to stop. So they better just act on what's worked for them in the past.
It was a very risky peek out mid without a smoke, without a flash. And it is good that Autumn missed the shot, otherwise True Rippers would have lost a player there.
Yeah.
And now they do pivot towards the A side on the back of some space, I'd say, that has been gained by him. Not a lot. I mean, he literally has nothing though. Not even A ramps. And the operator just repositioned at the perfect time in the perfect place. If True Rippers contest Heaven, that's where the op will find them. Although they do have a wall to block that line of sight, and it should be used. The flash, both the flashes will be propped up too, and Vibhor sees the player up top. The molly is there to make him vulnerable too, and Vibhor gets the entry, gets the second, and has already stopped the threat that True Rippers were posing out A main.
Scout destroyed.
True Rippers are losing the most important players, but at least Ardu is still
30
alive. So
seconds left.
Spike plant not completely off the menu.
I need
But given how little
obscuring
time they
vision.
have, they don't have the ability to go to its beat. They have to commit to this one. Autumn's already up into its green, but look at Wimp. He goes on an aggression mission. They are indeed going towards B, just not from the pathing that you expect them to go from. But Hoax just has to play for time over here.
10
Pops the
seconds
nanoswarms
left.
just in case he doesn't get pushed from B main, and he's just playing for contact over here. But Wimp still gets that frag.
Spike planted. Thanks, Wings.
He missed out a lot of shots, I'd say, because it was a head-on fight, and it is not like he was not expecting a player there. The spike is weirdly not planted for CT this time though, but all the players of True Rippers have already gobbled up outside their spawn, outside the God's Reign spawn. This could be a little bit tricky, I'd say. But let's see, God's Reign, how do they want to go about this retake? Disrupt should have a star on spike to pull the players off. I think he does not. Oh, it's planted for CT, never mind. Vibhor able to get the frag, and then the pit too. Vibhor is being spammed, but he is taking it regardless. The spam not connecting. Autumn counter spams through the Viper's pit. Is able to get both the players, and God's Reign win the first round of OT.
Oh, I feel so bad for True Rippers. They almost had it in the bag. An ultimate in the overtime can definitely change things. They just didn't expect that Vibhor will be the one to get the 2 prior frags as well. And if it was someone else, then maybe God's Reign wouldn't have been able to win this one. The stars aligned for them, even though they don't for Disrupt. And True Rippers have always had trouble in their defensive halves. So this is going to be a tough one for them. Haven looks inevitable. Unless Hazen with the glass cannon can make a difference.
He has to be pushed off the angle though. And Ayu is waiting for the Trailblazer, so that won't be the utility that will push him off.
Yeah, if Adu can
Should be
break the
destroyed.
Trailblazer, it would be great.
Enemy kill.
And then Kaizen activates. That's a beautiful sequence. And now you wonder, does Sai pop a flash, try to go through? Because you've already noticed the player up in B main, B heaven too. So God's Reign, they regroup. They try to hit mid. They try to take mid. And with the AWP falling, it is the perfect time. But hey, True Rippers is ready for it. They are entirely okay with just dropping out from the mid regions and maybe strengthen the sites. It is a wrong call though. I mean, True Rippers, they just have 2 players on site and one of them has an operator. So if the players get up in face, there won't be a trading potential left whatsoever. Vibhor throws the molly, but Ayu now knows that this push is coming, this hit is coming. He needs to at least get 1. He gets 1, but then falls.
Spike
The
down.
operator is still there and it does not hit. And to make things worse, Wimp even falls. Kaizen in a very difficult
30
spot.
seconds left.
He is being jiggled, gets a shot, tries to hide but does not. And now takes, spotted down, it's a 2v2. It's again a very close moment, 20 seconds left on the clock. Techno has to swing and maybe find the flag. He throws a hawk instead. And the fight gets committed.
Player
Tix is
standing.
not ready, but Techno wastes all of his shots. It's all down to Disrupt and he has to respect the lockdown.
God's Reign and farming up ultimates and overtimes. Name a better duo. A Viper spit in the first one and now a lockdown. These ultimates have been wrecking havoc for True Rippers. Unless Disrupt can continue to weave magic with his fingers and be the astral god that he's expected to, we are going to Haven. God's Reign pull it back from the brink of defeat.
What a great comeback. I mean, down 8-4 and they are still able to close the map in their favor. What a game God's Reign played. I'd say I'm a bit disappointed from True Rippers after what they were able to achieve in the first few rounds of defense. They did not continue with the same strat and then got punished. But a great shot call in from God's Reign. Great timeout called by Godspeed too. They needed it in that point of time, and that is where they are able to mount a comeback. They got thrifted in between, which I thought would be their breaking point, but it wasn't. I mean, yes, they do lose the round, but overall they do win the series.
Yeah, they might just win the series. Haven does look strong for God's Reign, but we'll break down Split first in the post-game segment, so stick around.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it
God's Reign are just really good at adapting. Both these teams have their strengths and weaknesses, and with that, we can guarantee you that map number 3 is going to be an absolute banger. Welcome back, our YouTube audience. You guys are watching the Omen Valorant Challenger South Asia. This game has gone into map number 3. We don't get to see that quite a lot, by the way. In Split 2, it's been mostly 2-0, so yeah, it's been a while since we've stayed this late. But since it's Haven, I don't expect too many different changes. I mean, the meta composition will most likely come through from both these teams. Whatever innovation we had to witness, we saw it already in Split. By the way, if you guys missed Split, for people that are just tuning in, you guys just missed a Gecko game. So, yeah, here's me giving you that FOMO.
Oh, that's true. But this time around, Haven is a very defaulty pick for both these teams. It's running the meta calm, the double initiator. A lot of information, a lot of utility that will help you to push back the defenders away. Let's see which of these teams uses it perfectly. Two Rippers starting out on the attacking side, where we have seen them put quite a bit of rounds, but defenses where they fell in the previous half. This time around, they do have a killjoy, so it shouldn't be that hard. But hey, let's see. Let's witness the first pistol round, where again Tix has a frenzy, and for True Rippers, it is gonna be Kaizen yielding that powerful weapon.
Scanning ahead.
All right, this is gonna be a fast one. True Rippers sparing no time to take control of all these areas. Dash comes through. Side confused with the targets, but they don't check him, so he gets away with one more. Wimp is able to burst them down, but then Autumn with crisp, clean lock is able to turn this back into a 2v2. Spike, though, hasn't been planted yet, and the smokes have run out, so God's Reign can play for contact, and that's exactly what they do. Hopes, given a fight, Aryu loses it, and that's when the nerves come in. Techno shock darts himself, and it's over. God's Reign do really well to keep the numbers up in this round.
It was an impressive push from Two Rippers, I'd say, but what went wrong is the first frag that Kaizen was able to get. I mean, the entry, that Autumn was able to get. So, True Rippers, they were not able to capitalize on the entry utility that was thrown in. And then the players from CT, it was a 2v2. It could have gone either way. Hoax hits a shot, crazy shot, I'd say. And then Tix follows up. Good round for God's Reign. Should be able to secure the second one too. Four Spectres, a Marshal to work with. And True Rippers, nothing but an upgraded shorty for Kaizen.
That's gonna force him to vacate.
Right here.
And he's got a shorty on the other end. Now this smoke is dangerous.
And there's no trading potential as well. If Sai falls, and if Kaizen is able to just jump around the corner and maybe dodge Hoax in the process, that's a free weapon. But now Sai just knows. He knows and has called it for Hoax. He's able to pick up the frag and True Rippers. The only, I'd say, the upgraded weapon that could have done something in the round in close range battle has been lost. And it's all down to the 4 pistols, and they're heading towards the C side where the annoying Killjoy has a good set.
Cover going out.
I mean, it's not that much of an upgrade. It's just 200 bucks. They're both playing inside the smoke, fully expecting True Rippers to flood inside it. But they're being held back.
Cover going out.
Now the smoke's about to vacate. Tix places one of his own. Just to prevent them from coming across this backside area. They will try to jump through regardless, and the Spectres will do a good job of spraying them down. No problem so far. Technic gets one, but that's okay. That's acceptable whilst the God's Reign. Anti-Eagle going just as planned.
That's also just the martial loss in the process. So, yeah, I mean, God's Reign would definitely be happy with the round. They'll have 4 Spectres this time around. They'll be content, I think, with the upgraded pistol onto Tix. Yes, we've seen what Tix can do with this Sheriff. He has had some moments in Split 1, and he was able to land some crazy, insane shots with the weapon. So I won't count God's Reign completely out. And True Reaper's approach is what I want right now. Do they go for a slow default where they clear every part of the map before regrouping and hitting a side? Because that is what it seems like. All the 5 players just choosing 4 to 5 different angles and hoping for God's Reign to push in and then capitalizing on it.
Right here.
Do they know that Autumn is playing this deep? He gets hurt by his own team. Yeah. Not much, but it's on his damage. Shields are almost off. 78% HP left.
And Autumn went unchecked. That could be a big threat over here.
Wimp is hoping to go unchecked, but the turret's gonna get in his way. At least he can hopefully pick up a fight against one of these True Rippers players. Goes right in, ignoring the nanoswarms. Okay. Hustling through the utility, unbothered. Vibhor doesn't shoot guys when he had the chance, and now he regrets it.
I mean, what just happened? Was there a fake sound cue or something like that that made Vibhor check the other angle this time? Because from his POV, I clearly saw the player jumping on his face and him turning away. Hey, God's Reign, they lose the player. Tix is able to get one on the Bison. Maybe the second, yes he does. These are the Sheriff shots I was talking about. Autumn, although the flag will be detected, Sai is able to get one before falling down, but Ayu is able to control things off. Tix needs to get a 4K, won't get anything because Techno's holding an off angle and True Ripper. They take a lot of damage, yes, but they do convert the round in their favor.
Money.
Yeah, I mean, 3 expensive rifles gone. God's Reign had minimal investments in this one. Vibhor's action, yep, they definitely made us scratch our heads a bit, but I think Tix was able to cover up quite well for it. Almost retrieved a Phantom as well. I mean, actually, he did retrieve one, and the fights that he was offered were 1v1, so he could have clutched this round out on paper. But True Rippers hold on to the advantage, not for long, as Autumn can certainly turn the tide. Oh, he gets pinged out. Luckily, there's nobody from True Rippers far enough to spam him down through the smoke. So he gets away, but now the True Rippers are aware about the ops position, so they continue pushing in over here.
There's re-smoke too, so I mean, you'll have to consider the fact that someone is playing around it.
Take flight.
And a good late round clear of a lobby. Sai will use the drone. Maybe he spots a couple of players. But I think he saw nothing. So there's just information about one more player. But that's enough for God's Reign to rotate a player towards the safe side to help strengthen the side. You still have the operator on Autumn, so he will have that first contact out a long. And I do not see True Rippers really working their way towards shot. So it is going to be a one-dimensional hit. And Autumn, he should be all over it. He should hit the shot. Should be patient enough because he is a little bit in an awkward position. He is trying to check the off angle. But yeah, Kaizen peeks off without any supporting util. Gets himself taken off. And then Sai is there to protect him from shot. Folks, reveal, yes, for sure. But the duels inside are just being won by God's Reign. Sai comes in with a double. Goes in for the third too and gets it. Autumn should fairly be able to close the round with this op, and he does not even hit it. That's a rare whiff we see from the guy, but Disrupt completely blinded. He is being bullied, not enough time left, and Vibhor will clean him up. So God's Reign, they secure that third on the board.
Don't stress it.
True Rippers really not need to start putting those mind games to work. Wimp, usually his role on Haven is mostly to just lurk outside of B main and try to cut off the players rotating from God's Reign. And while he's tried to attempt a B plant once, that's the only round True Rippers were able to win. God's Reign instantly swing the momentum back, swindle it away from True Rippers. True Rippers are able to win their buy round, but now they face the threat of economy again.
Oh, Autumn this time around. Oh, that's a great smoke. And this has been thrown away from Mario. But even after that, Autumn just disrespects it, peeks right through and gets off the head of Kaizen. I think he was trying to get his Blaze Storm ready with that orb, and Autumn knew it. He just completely denies it. And yeah, both the players are stunned, correct, but there is no jet available to enter on the map of that util. So True Rippers, they tried to explore some other part of the map, whereas Disrupt tries his luck again, but this time around, Autumn did not feel confident enough to show through the smoke.
Calling my bot.
He's 1 point away from Rolling Thunder. RU's 1 point. Everyone on True Rippers are awfully close to their ultimates. I can say the same for Tix, but then again, the Omen ult is not as dangerous as the other ones, right? It's probably Vibhor whose ult they want to avoid giving away. Tix this time ready. Change position. Usually it's Vibhor playing over here, but Tix has been phenomenal at defending B, even with the Sheriff. So with the Phantom, he should be even deadlier. Yeah, you're right. The Paranoia is perfect. Inside, nice spray down. He could have almost taken off Wimp's head too with the wall bang, but that's okay because Hoax is here to play.
That's a great start for God's Raid, and there should be a timeout called out by, yeah, there it is, from True Rippers. The attacking half is not going the way they want it to. And, I mean, you really cannot shut down early operator plays like that on C long because of the map design in such a way. But yeah, it was an eco round, so I think you were trying to save some util for the side executes rather than trying to defend, or rather than try to be proactive in the first place. So that's all right, all okay for True Rippers. The timeout has been called and there have to be some changes made. First of all, you need to learn how to deal with that op. I mean, you already know, you just need to do the perfect protocol in place to push that operator back. There is just a single breach flash that completely throws away the operator if it is positioned on the C side in the front wall. So that could be thrown in, and then on the back of it, maybe a jet smoke out C long, try to close in the distance and get inside. That could be one way of executing into the C side. They are True Rippers. The coach is feeling a bit warm, but I think his team is also feeling some wrath on the playground because God's Rain right now, they are not giving any rounds away to True Rippers for free.
I mean, if I was in his shoes, then even I would be sweating my bullets out. Understandable completely. Massive ultimates available on True Rippers though. They walked into that round and came out with 4 ultimates. I mean, all of them were close. We pointed it out earlier. Now it just comes down to which one you choose to use in this round. Sai though.
That's an
I mean,
ambitious push.
he's going in with the push along with the jet as well as the kill drive. Before makes first contact, Sai is not there to trade it out just yet. And they relinquish the first blood.
And that's all the KJ util gone down, but takes. Oh, he just got a couple of frags. Ayo is able to trade him out, but now it's a 3v3. And Kaizen is tagged a little bit. Hoax has both the flashes ready. So let's use that before making out Hoax. But no, he just wants to go for the try peek. The off angle does not get in. Kaizen gets one. Uses the updraft to stay alive and dodges the Hunter's Fury somehow. Ayu will get this spike down. And True Rippers, after a very long period of time, they find themselves in an advantageous position.
True Rippers have the numbers. God's Raid can't really stop them. The Hunter's Fury, if it came in a bit earlier, it probably would have been able to kill a lot of people in that narrow, large corridor, but now it's looking bleak. Alright then. Autumn can at least keep things competitive by shutting down the flanker, and Sai is doing a good job as well, but now it's just a bit too much. Both the jets blade challenging each other.
And it's Autumn who comes out on top. That's a great frag to find. God's Rain. They get the round. The defuse was there. I mean, he had a lot of time. And the 1v1 between Kaizen and Autumn was just phenomenal to watch. It was almost like an anime battle. Both the jets just flying off around each other, trying to connect that blade. And I'd say Autumn was the lucky one because in such a fast movement fight, you really cannot aim for the head. You just can predict where it is going to be and try to hit the shot. That's what happened. But True Rippers once again not playing according to the ultimate that they had. Techno had the Hunter's Fury available. He could have easily fell back towards C long and then tried to use the ultimate to maybe buy some more time, but that did not happen. And True Rippers, a 3v2 retake round, and they still lose it. All of their ultimates are still available though.
Yeah, I really thought they would use one of these in the previous round. But hey, I guess they'll be happy with just whatever they can get, huh? Once again, Tick's trying to go for the jump peak. Doesn't see anyone yet, but it's gonna be a C crunch eventually. There's plenty of utility in the way. There's alarm bots. Oh, high risky peek. That's what happens when you try to peek 1v2. He's able to at least get one, but then he too has been dealt with it. Just like that, the C side's available. And True Rippers still haven't used any of their ultis, so this could be a dangerous one, but Vibor is able to make that risky play work. Through the smoke, he's farmed up enough frags for an ultimate of his own.
The aftershock will destroy it. But in the lane, Vibor is able to catch Disrupt, who was trying to rotate off. So he has already equalized the numbers here. And now True Rippers, they have the rolling Thunder available, but Vibor on the flag could be huge. And no one is expecting it. Why? Vibor should get a freebie here, and he will. Wimp is not looking in his way. The frag is there, and now suddenly Aryu's all alone. He gets the ding, he gets the frag on Vibor regardless, but the defuse will be stuck. And God's Rain looks like they're not dropping any more rounds on this first half of Map of Haven.
Yeah, the lockdown also doesn't help them all that much. Both the Killjoys getting it online just in the nick of time. I mean, Vibor didn't even have his ultimate at the start of this round. He was able to jump through that smoke, somehow doesn't get traded out. And in the Matrix, he escapes. And that's when the counter lockdown comes in. Wimp had been holding on to the lockdown since quite some time, and Vibor takes away his thunder right away. Tix takes away Kaizen's head. Just like that, God's Rain find the opening pick once again.
It is just pistols for True Rippers. But let's see if it works out or not. Disrupt got it down. The aftershock will force him to move, and Tix is ready with the crosshair placement. Gets the third down A. On for the ace maybe, because the paranoia did hit Wimp in the process. TP, Wimp expecting it. Trades it out, and the trades are good. God's Rain hopes will be able to close out the round, and God's Rain, they're running away with the match, it seems like.
Yeah, so much money, so much momentum. They're unstoppable at this point. The people over at God's Rain Bootcamp, they're not even surprised. One of those guys is just checking out his phone. He's like, yeah, my boys can do this. I don't need to watch this game. I'm just going to check out the score later on. But now, with the Hunter's Fury and the Rolling Thunder still at play, True Rippers have the momentum. At least they can gather it. It's just potential momentum. You have to turn it into kinetic. Little physics reference for you boys out there. Maybe Ocean will be proud of it.
Hey, but this time around, True Rippers, they switched up the pace. It is a very fast hit towards the B side, and now they're trying to take control of A link. The drone will spot this aggression, and you have 3 players to deal with it on the side of Team God's Rain. The Rolling Thunder though gets invested, and in the middle of all of this ruckus, Vibor is able to scoop up 2. Now Aryu is still in the backside, but he does not get anything. Gets spotted, Vibor with a third. Aryu and Wimp answer back, but Autumn is able to trade one. Wimp gets one, but Tix trades him out. And what a beautiful retake from God's Rain. And they again snatch away the round from the hands of True Rippers.
I'm just so sad that True Rippers are getting matched with these ultimates. They've been holding on to them for too long, and as soon as they try to use a lockdown, another one is put in play. The Rolling Thunder is responded with another one. God's Rain are just saying, yeah, you can hold on to these ultimates for as long as you want, but we hold on to the lead with an iron grip. You'll have to pry it away from our cold, dead hands, and guess what? We are not that easy to kill. A judge on Aryu.
That's interesting.
Alright, yeah, that gets interesting. I would have expected it in the hands of Kaizen maybe, but maybe TP across. Use the ultimate, hopefully get a cheeky frag, no?
Hey, let's see, because already the entry has been taken. The smoke is a little bit late, but yeah, Vibor. The 6th sense just kicks in, he gets a frag. Kaizen is able to get a frag onto home.
Another one.
But that's, yeah, exactly. There's another lockdown. The Hunter's Fury will be popped to destroy it. And yeah, it will be done. So True Rippers will have a hold towards this B side. And Kaizen is very deep and he finds a very important frag. Also gets the frag on to take. So yeah, this should be a True Rippers round. Disrupt also gets a frag and then Techno chimes in too. So True Rippers, finally they somehow break the defenses of Team God's Reign and are able to put the second on the board.
True Ripper's able to get one on the board. For the first time in a very long time, I'm seeing a bit of a smile on their faces. And that's partially because Kaizen goes beast mode. He was the one keeping the hope alive in split second half, and now he's doing the same once again, but you can't rely on this Jet too often. He's a young lad. Too much pressure on his nimble shoulders, and you will be burning him out a bit too soon. Are you committing? The smoke landing over there just in time. Now they are unsure if he's towards the top or bottom, but that's okay because they've got the frags towards the front lines instead. They can let Aryu stay over there. His teammates are dying all over the place unless Techno can come in and save the day. This looks like a done and dusted round. Dix, how is he alive in that smoke? He peeks once more to get the kill onto Aryu, and this shouldn't have happened.
Oh, web flash True Rippers. It seems like that the game is getting away from their hands and they can do nothing about it. God's Reign need a hero. It sometimes takes just charges up. Sometimes it's auto moves just hitting insane shots. Sai comes in with a 1v3 or a 1v2 and takes this time around. Off angle perfectly works out for him, and God's Reign on an attackers oriented map. They've got 9-2, but they're not strangers losing it away from here. We did see them end up the first half with a lead, but essentially lost to the players of True Rippers. Let's see if True Rippers can pull something back on the defensive side, because this attacking half, it is a complete lost cause now.
Omen says game on for hours, and you know what? It seems like it's been hours since True Rippers won a round.
Autumn though.
Autumn. Yeah. He doesn't feel the need to back off. He wants to challenge them yet again. Kaizen dashes into his cloud burst, and he does take down Autumn, but Vibor is able to get at least one. So maybe in the dying embers of this game, True Rippers can get something done.
You should run.
Oh, but the adversary. And even Tix gets a frag. So wait a minute. Aryu's low. You will have to respect the lockdown, yes, but Tix can be positioned with the from the shadows. So this still could be very possible. There is a drone available for side 2. So all these plays and some information on the back of that ultimate. All 3 players playing inside. The high-low setup won't be cleared. And once again the same setup being wrong. Win gets the frag. And True Rippers, at least they've brought us to a cursed score line, a 9-3 score line. Let's see if they're able to activate it and maybe put an end to God's Reign's winning map that they had in the previous game.
Yeah, but God's Reign looked far too strong over here.
For now,
Second
yes.
map, it was difficult for True Rippers because, you know, when they are going into the retakes, they were flawless on Lotus. Can they bring the same on the defensive side of Haven? We'll have to look and we'll have to wait and watch.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Bro, fridge meat के लिए, heat के लिए नहीं. Bro, this graphics card is making my frames drop. Come with me if you want to game.
The all-new Omen 16 with advanced Tempest cooling technology, now with 5 heat pipes and 4 thermal outlets. The Omen 16 with 12th Gen Intel Core i7 processor to make you forget your frame drops.
Now that's cool.
Game on with Tempest cooling.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Yes, I'm a Gen Z. Or should I say, the Gen Next. And I don't let fear hold me back from doing anything. I choose to move fearlessly through it all.
Hey buddy, we need you to trim your beard for this next scene.
What? Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I move fearlessly in most things, but I draw the line here. What if I Nico cut myself?
Try this.
Phillips.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Welcome back to NODWIN Valorant Challenges South Asia. You guys are watching True Rippers versus God's Reign, and God's Reign have a pretty good lead going into this game. Stringing together 6 rounds, pushing True Rippers down under. But some people call this the cursed scoreline, and True Rippers have been phenomenal on the defense of Lotus. So let's see if they can bring some of that magic back over here on Haven.
Revealing area.
Let's see though. Early contact up a main, and Cliven somehow is able to get the shot connected onto Sai as well. But he'll fall. Autumn will be able to run the player down. He'll be able to get the frag, and Techno completely blind as a bat. Weibor will be able to get that frag. And even though True Ripper started out with an advantage, now have to face a retake with 4 players, and I also count the Spike as a player. Essentially a 5v4 retake. The paranoia is great though. But the presence is being shown. Disrupt gets one, but Autumn is there with the trade. Ayu gets one back. 60 and 40 is the HP remaining on Vimp and Ayu. Sai, although he's very low, so Hawks has to be the winner over here. The double peek, and they don't even get the trade. And Sai misses off the first few shots.
Yeah,
True Rippers, a great retake.
I mean, yeah, God's Reign. The defense setup was good enough for the first few fights, but as soon as the first 2 players died and it was a 2v2, that trade setup became redundant really soon. The guy towards hell was isolated, and especially with that smoke being put over there, which is, by the way, a problem, you know, because you're allowing RU to put a smoke like that while he's not even in cover. You're allowing him to reload the frenzy and everything. That's a big red flag. You gave him enough momentum. With that smoke, they're able to isolate the fights. Actually, the fights were already isolated. Now with the smoke, they're able to clear out the Hell guy very easily because he doesn't know exactly where they're going to peek out from. So his crosshair position is thrown off guard.
This time though, it is anyways an eco round for God's Reign. Until unless they're able to just hit some crazy shots. Till then, I think True Rippers should be able to get the 5th. They've successfully activated the curse though. That's what I'm happy about. At least we'll have a great game over here. Now takes. Peak is there, and Kaizen misses the shot. The players have all lined up, but they're not hitting the shots of their own. And finally Kaizen. He was given so many opportunities, and finally Disrupt Techno came into the play. Wind will close out the round. And this shouldn't have been a flawless round. It should have been a very majorly contested round, considering Kaizen whiffed out quite a bit of shots. But hey, True Rippers, they somehow are able to recover and get the 5th on the board.
But the problem isn't that Kaizen whips out the shots. The problem that he's allowed to peek so many times again and again. I think he peeked like some 4 times over there, out of which twice he was able to get the frag. He should have been dead after the second one. That's kind of bad on God's Reign not being able to punish him like that. But then again, the weaponry diff was real, so it's fine. We can excuse that. This is when they truly strike back.
I see though, takes completely blind. But yeah, I mean, these are the early stages where True Rippers is just trying to force out some utility of the hands of God's Reign. And Sai will use the owl drone, although they'll still be skeptical about a shot, as it was smoked by them, I think. So they'll have to still recheck it, and the drone won't be enough. And now won't recharge too. But even if it's an A piece here, True Rippers have fairly left the site completely empty. It's only Ayu out A Heaven, and that's about it. So they are hoping to play a retake on A, but they are heavily defending the other sides. Even B is just thrown on an alarm bot. So essentially, if God's Reign rotate towards the C side, it could be a little bit difficult. But God's Reign are here to just sell a fake, break the KJ util, draw some rotations, and then find a free site on A. That's what they're expecting, and they will find it completely empty. So it is a good
Techno-
late round clear. But let's see how does it pan out.
Yeah, they've cleared out all these areas, but Techno's acting like an early warning system. In case God's Reign decide to hit C, he will be the one who
30
needs to
seconds
make
left.
first contact.
the
And
information.
hoping that Kazin will be able to trade him out as well. He's connecting martial shots, but now they don't
Oh,
check
check.
for him, and Techno's able to get a lovely spray down.
And just by the distraction he created, Disrupt was also able to get 2. And the bonus round also goes in their favor. Something is happening right now. As True Rippers, they mount a comeback. It will be another eco from Team God's Reign. And this will put True Rippers within touching distance of the game.
Lovely distraction though. Bait and switch from True Rippers. Like I said, Kazin has been peeking out fearlessly, moving fearlessly, going for those repeats again and again with the Marshal. And once he does that 2 or 3 times, you don't check for Techno.
Once again, some spam shots being thrown in. So God's Reign won't be lucky this time around. Oh, I think I said it a bit too early because Hopes was able to find Ayu through the smoke. Yes, he is tagged too, but that does not concern God's Reign because this is their eco and Autumn has already found the blades as well. He was able to scoop that orb C long and now has the blades available. True Rippers, they're way too dependent upon Wimp for this round on C. And now Autumn will spot him down. The knife they do not connect initially, but now this aftershock will flush him off, but he still gets 2.
Wow!
What?
No way!
Enemy down.
Autumn is
Deploying
able to
drone.
respond back with 1, and it is still a 3v2 situation where True Rippers are favored. God's Reign, they are trying to cut it close. The knives have already refreshed, and Techno is also just 1 knife away from meeting his death. And Sky completely stunned, but once again,
No
Autumn,
way!
he comes out on top. 1 knife left, but he's able to dash back. Has a shorty as a secondary weapon. The knife hits and brings Disrupt to 50 HP. This is within the shorty range. The spike needs to be tapped. But beautifully, Disrupt is playing this beautifully. He is playing time. Autumn spots the player down. Does not jump his horses. Why the wide swing? Just why? And Disrupt is able to close the round. They could have been able to get the thrifty, but True Rippers deny it and get their 7.
No, True Rippers. There were so many occasions where I thought that these guys were going to lose the round. First of all, you have that Killjoy planted towards C. I mean, yeah, sure. Wimp was supposed to die over here. The aftershock would have killed him regardless, but just before he dies, just before he hits the dust, he will bite 2 down. And then Autumn brings the hope alive again, right? So you think, yeah, True Rippers are gonna lose this because Autumn can just play around the box. The shorty is lethal at that range. And he's balled down quite some time, so there was enough in the tank for God's Reign. And yet, on all of those occasions, True Rippers are able to come out on top. 2 kills with Wimp, where he shouldn't have been able to get even a single one. And then Disrupt being offered that 1v1 when the shorty is well out of whack.
Revealing area.
Nanoswarm's activated now, but this is quite good from True Rippers. They're looking to fight towards mid, which is nice because True Rippers,
Careful.
they will have a little bit of trouble trying to defend over here. Drone being used to clear long.
Enemy marked.
Techno tagged up. And God's Reign are taking it nice and slowly. They're waiting for more contact towards mid. They're hoping the True Rippers give them a fight, but if that doesn't come through, they will just continue sending Autumn inside. Tries to fake plant. Yep, that's what he was waiting for. He was hoping to get that Hunter's Fury baited out from Techno. And when that comes through, he's just going to dash away. Even the Rolling Thunder is used by Disrupt. But nothing found on the back of it, so God's Reign have another chance. But Wimp, though, holding solid, holding well. It's his counterpart that trades him out.
Flash out.
Disrupt has arrived on scene well in time to stop this
30
push. I just
seconds
hope he
left.
doesn't overextend with these flashes. The flashes hit nobody, but Disrupt is hitting them like a truck. Aizen catches them in the nick of time just before the crossing comes through, and Sai left in a 1v3. We've seen some amazing clutches from this man before, but with the spike out of reach and no time on the clock, this is well out of his capabilities as well. True Rippers stringing round after round after round. Their defensive side looks impenetrable. They had a perfect defensive side on Lotus, and it's looking flawless so far. True Rippers are on a roll, not relinquishing even a single round to God's Reign. And once again, they push God's Reign into the trenches of poverty.
Look at how happy the coach is. He's just having a laugh about it. They were down now 9-3, and the two crucial rounds that they had to win, the pistol round and then the bonus round, they were able to get both the rounds in their favor and now have mounted a comeback. There have to be some tough words that have to be said by Godspeed, or maybe just remind God's Reign to focus on the defaults a little bit more and play the way Haven is supposed to be played. Maybe change up the pace a little bit too. And see if both the sides are not working, let's try a B piece round. I mean,
They did try it. They did try it, you know. I mean, they found some success over there, but they were not able to hold on in the post plant. At least they were able to get inside the site. That's something, you know. So far, they've just been dying before they can even reach anywhere close to the default boxes. And this tells you how well True Rippers are poised to position this one, to protect their sites, to protect this half. It was a 9-3 curse, and hey, you know what? Might just turn into a blessing for True Rippers.
Let's see if that's true. They do have the better weapons, so the scores in theory should be equalized here. Tyson with the odd this time won't be given anything though, because Tix is playing it very passively, and this is a fast piece towards the B side, and why not? You just have Stingers and Spectres available for you. So we will be given away. You as such do not have any ultimates ready until and unless Vim gets the frag. There is no lockdown. So how does the post plant retake come in? Now there will be two players posted, but they peek one by one. Although the trade is still there, Hooks now has the Rolling Thunder to buy some more time. Yes, they're inside this side, but as soon as the tap comes in, there will be a frag, and even before that, Autumn just assassinates another player. The aftershock to stop things. Even the Hunter's Fury. God's Reign seem to have found the answer.
Enemy remaining.
Yes, they have, because Ari also goes down in a 1v2 techno. The fight being given to him, the wait. Is there time? No, there isn't.
Nah,
no time.
Out.
No time. But still, I mean, God's Reign. Great round to win.
Thrifty.
Good stuff from God's Reign. You did say that you want to see them doing a B piece, and they did exactly that. Man with the silver tongue for God's Reign.
That's what you wanted. If you're God's Reign, get around out from the momentum that Team True Rippers had, and a Thrifty is the best win. B side was expected there, and I did not see a retake plan for True Rippers. That could be one of the reasons. Plus, they entered into the site for free. No damage done to their health even while entering. So that did help Team God's Reign get around. But then they again try to switch up the pace and hit this a site and operator shot miss in. Huh? But Kaizen escapes?
Off your feet!
What is this? The Rolling Thunder will be invested too. And Kaizen is still surviving. I just cannot believe this.
He's gotten several multi-kills from this position before, but not again. This time Tix denies the op any weakness. A nice kill through the boxes, and the retake begins before the lockdown gets popped. Another one gets popped in return. Vibhor hoping to keep them away. Oh my goodness, Aryu, he breaks the lockdown and he finds... No, he doesn't find the spike. It's still on the back of Hoax. But Hoax has way too much to do. If he can get this frag, maybe he can kill Sai as well. Maybe he can kill Wimp as well, but nah, that's not gonna happen. True Rippers are actually making this one work. I'm very surprised by how this works out. I thought with Tix getting that double frag, it would have been disastrous, but down into sewers, they crunch it.
I still do not understand where did Ayu come from. I think it would be a flank, but then how was Vibhor not aware about it? Questions. These are some questions that I do have in my mind. But God's Reign again back to an eco. 4 frenzies and a stinger to work with. There is from the shadows available for takes. That ultimate rarely wins you any rounds. There could be an interesting silver play, I'd say, where one of the players could just run in with the spike, drop it down in the middle of the site, and God's Reign just group up on the other side and try to,
No.
get
We've
the
seen
spike
that.
down.
We've seen that in the past from several teams. It doesn't work as nicely as you think.
Maybe because weird things are happening. Again, Vibor is able to get one, and inside these frenzies are reigning supreme. Disrupt is being spammed, and it is a good decision to back off. And they've been able to retrieve rifles too, so this is a good post-plant situation. Again, no ultimates ready for new rippers
Spike
yet.
planted.
And God's Reign on the verge of converting another thrifty maybe.
My double's dead.
Not unless Wimp can prevent that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he's done it really well. Tix not having enough bullets in the stinger. He will die eventually. Rippers tie it up. 10-10. God's Reign once again will have weapons, but True Rippers still have the AWP online, so this can still be a massive deterrent. Although Kaizen has his moments with the snipers, sometimes being slightly inconsistent today. Maybe his warm-up wasn't ideal, but as long as he can get his team the lead, it's all cool in the hood.
I mean, these shots were just insane, and the frenzies worked superbly, but then these individual duels, I think Vibor was just speaking for information, and then Hawks wanted to trade, but the util should have been called. I mean, you could have asked for something or the other from the Omen. I think Tix had a paragon, I'm not sure. Okay, no, he invested it earlier on, so yeah, those dry peaks were the demise of Team God's Reign in that battle. But this time around, they are hitting this A side once again. They haven't found a lot of success, and the backup is available too. But Autumn dashes anyway. The Rolling Thunder gets invested too, and Disrupt. Oh, he does not get a frag. The Jet just goes airborne, and Tix is able to trade players out efficiently. There is still a crossfire over here, but the good thing is, Operator does not find a frag. The trades once again makes it a 2v2. Both the players of True Rippers though are healthy, and Hawks is down to 30 HP, so this could be a problem. And Autumn is about to peek into an Operator. The stun, just perfect. The Operator though trades it out, so wait a minute. Hawks, oh my god, one bullet did connect. But 4 HP is what Hawks needed to win that round. God's Reign, they again take the lead back.
God's Reign are keeping it very close, dude. That Paranoia did not hit, but the Rolling Thunder certainly did. And just like that, Techno is able to get one. Wimp with his position going unchecked would have been disastrous. Vibor even tries to get the better of him, but Wimp is able to spray transfer just in time. And if it wasn't for that stun push by Hawks, this probably would have been a done round. They knew that they wouldn't be able to plant. In a 2v2 like that, as soon as God's Reign tried to commit that spike, True Rippers would have jumped them instantly. So they go for a fake tap, and they hope that they can win out the gunfights. And you know what? They certainly can.
Once again, the timeout gets called, and even Godspeed is vocal this time around. I think he wants the boys to switch up the strat a little bit, because A is being heavily defended by True Rippers. They do not like to play retake. And yes, the duels went in their favor, God's Reign, but all that stood between them and the round was the 4 HP that Hawks was left with. And it won't work every time. I mean, these skirmish duels you take inside. Yup, this time around Tix was there to somehow first of all save Autumn and then even get a trade A shot. So for how long do you try and keep up with plays like these? That's my question. They are switching it up again. I think it is going to be another B piece, but True Rippers are ready. They have the read. They again have 3 players on this B side.
This could be the undoing of God's Reign. Perfectly positioned, perfectly poised. Kaizen pushed off the angle, but he will still try to go for it. The peak doesn't connect, but Aryu with the judge can certainly be a massive deterrent. Autumn, though, from the height is able to kill Kaizen as he dives ahead of his teammates, but Aryu is keeping everybody away. He holds this area, holds the fight. Vibor now hustling through the nano swamps, but only to get beaten by timing. The spike taken off his back, and Wimp is able to cut all their heads off. True Rippers go blow for blow. This game is just too close for comfort.
What a round from True Rippers. The perfect read. And they had the perfect weapon for the job too. The judge. A weapon you cannot take lightly in those close corners. And true, yeah, I mean, while God's Reign would try to spam through it, Ayu was able to get 3. That's something you cannot afford in rounds like these. And once again, back to Eco God's Reign. Hawks has a rolling thunder to make things interesting, but for that to work, they need to find a few frags. The smoke in Kaizen's face does not even stop him. He goes in for a random shot, gets a frag, and even goes for more. And again, the A side is defended with 3 players. Weibo does catch the timing off, but it's just 1. So it won't really help you a lot. And Kaizen's ready with the dash too. I don't see a way God's Reign win this round now. They are already down in numbers. They do not have the weapons for the job. And the read is there too. True Rippers, they should have this 12th in the bag.
Should. Unless Hooks gets desperate and tries to go in for the Rolling Thunder, which I don't think he will. He's most likely going to save it for the last round. But still, letting True Rippers get to map point is very risky. At this time, it's overtime or bust. Nice fault line. Isn't can dodge it, but he doesn't have a dash. So if he misses, he will just have to stay alive with the Cloudburst.
Also pops the knife. Oh, the TP was there, but Sai is able to protect him. Kaizen! Oh, he gets the second too while just fading off, and now Hawks is put in a 1v2. The operator, not the best possible thing
30 seconds
to help him in this retake, and once again takes. He is there with the judge, he gets taken down, but it's enough for him to get the frag. Well played by Wimp in the end. And True Rippers, yeah, that's a sigh of relief. Because that was something you did not expect. 1v2 inside, the operator connecting 2, leaving just 20 HP on 2. Are you in the process? Hey, True Rippers, they win the round. Yes, they would be struck a little bit, but it shouldn't deter them from maybe closing the game here and now.
Luckily, True Rippers have quite some ultimates to their name. And it's the perfect combination. Hoax is going to use his Rolling Thunder to clear out the site. And True Rippers don't have to stay over there. They can just vacate it. As soon as they try to attempt the plant, Techno will use the Hunter's Fury to disrupt them, and then the lockdown will also be used by Whip.
That's the
so
plan.
we can see that play coming. Somehow God's Reign also can read this. They just have to make sure that they don't get thrown off by it.
Alarm bot out.
What's the adaptation for that lockdown is what I'm interested to see.
Get Sai a kill,
Wimp
then
will
he can
throw it.
Yeah, Wimp will definitely throw it. So if Sai can get a kill, the Hunter's Fury will help him break the lockdown.
Okay,
that's
yeah,
a big win condition from them.
And he I think will be able to maybe get that orb aim in. No, he does not. He wants to get the plant instead. So he will get the plant, but now he has to put it instantly. Rogues will throw in the aftershock, and now the Hunter's Fury comes in. 6 seconds on the clock. Is that enough time? Because there's a molly on his feet too. The aftershock. Make sure he's not able to throw the lockdown. True Rippers, they answer right back. And it's all down to Vibor and Takes. He does not get the spam. Techno is taking it. And he will do it.
Defenders win.
True Rippers, they get the 13th and the win. And are able to close what they started on the map of Lotus. 2-1 and they defeat God's Reign in the process.
That gesture from him tells you everything you need to know. Cut the game away right now. It's been too intense. That was a perfect combination. Lockdown planted and the Hunter's Fury to cover the areas which the lockdown can't clear. Now that was a perfect position. I don't understand why they had a helmet on this guy. Maybe he wanted to bash his head inside if they lost. And now look at this. Two Rippers are also doing the whole sleeping shenanigan at their boot camp. Something that God's Reign do often. So they're kind of using their own cheese taunts against them. And they also throw in a taunt from another game over there. You know which one I'm talking about.
Oh my god, what a victory for True Rippers. I mean, if not the victory, they should at least get your belief back in the 9-3 because Rips, this 9-3 is always active. And teams love it. They just love it when they're able to pull such a huge comeback. And that too not in OT. They did not go into OT to close this game. They just closed it in regulation. Being down 9-3 and then just coming out and winning against a team like God's Reign on the defenders' side. Hats off to them.
Hats off indeed. We'll break down more about their successful defensive side in this post-game segment, so stick around because they were really good on both Haven as well as Lotus. Lots of details to follow.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real. play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up, way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up, way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up, way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up, way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up, way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up, way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. We're known for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. We're known for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we